Welcome to tonight's live. Welcome to Saturday Night Live with your host, me, Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. Hopefully. I saw everybody was like, seems like everybody was having a good weekend in the beginning of the chat here. Eddie started it. Scorpolina decided to join in. I thought that was funny. Well, thanks for being here. If you guys wouldn't mind, just hitting that like button. I like to tell you that every time. Let me start my camera here. Also, if you're into true crime and you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you like true crime, we're here to talk it every day. Do pre-recordeds and we do live. So if that's something that you're into, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like, hit the bell icon, all that other good fun stuff. So let me see here. I saw we have a lot of people in the chat, which is nice. So nice. Columbus, Ohio. Oh, wow. You're right up the road. It's raining here. I don't know if it's raining where you are. Well, now it's not. I wanted to, take a walk before I came on the live because I haven't been doing much other than sitting today. And as soon as we got outside with the two dogs, it started pouring down rain. So it was nice. I was like, I shouldn't have even recommended that. So I saw that you guys had some good, you guys were just chit-chatting. Marie said she finally caught a live. It's good to see everybody. Hi, Kay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Huckleberry Hound. Suzanne. Teresa's here. And I saw Summer was up in the chat too. And Isabel, she's here. She's always here with me, even though she's always 5 hours ahead. Did you guys have some bad storms, Ashley? I was going to ask you guys about the storms. Is everybody staying safe? Everybody doing good? Hey, Princess Miguelsa. Oh, I like your picture. It's pretty. You're always so colorful. We just love it. I love it. Oh, you want to move where it rains? You live in the desert? Oh, man. I don't mind the rain. It's just, as long as it doesn't touch me. I'm really weird. I'm weird about like, if I'm wearing long sleeves and I'm in rain, like if I'm in the rain, I'm hating life. But if I'm in a jacket and I'm like bundled up, I could sit in the rain all day, just as long as it's not touching me. But I love to swim, which is totally weird because, obviously you get your arms wet to swim, but I had to come back and change my pants though, like blow dry my hair again. It was pretty bad, but it's nothing compared to the Mississippi storms. And what was it? What's the other one? Alabama? No, Arkansas? I think they got hit with some really bad storms too. Just, it's crazy how devastating it is. So, well, it's good to see everybody here. You got to take shelter? Oh my gosh. Tornado watch? Oh, I'd be in shelter. Well, when I was younger, I did in shelter in place. I didn't care. I didn't care. I think that it was just, I didn't know how bad the storms could get because, we didn't really have bad storms in Ohio then. Like the worst storm that happened was back in like the 70s and I wasn't born yet. So I didn't witness anything. So when my mom would be like, oh my gosh, we got to seek shelter, I would be like, why? But my best friend, on the other hand, was the complete opposite of me. And she would be at like the west side of the basement, whichever you needed to be. Like she would be like doing the full training, like safety alert. So yeah, I hope everyone's out there being safe. Yeah, you don't need no hurricane season, no, Teresa. You guys don't need anything down there. You get hurricanes there too, summer? Oh, wow. I didn't know they had them in South Carolina like that. I guess Myrtle Beach and like the beach is right there. I didn't think about that, but I just don't think of that state being like one of the ones, but I guess it does. Yeah. Yeah, I think the storms are over here too. I think it's just going to be kind of chilly tonight, which is it's whatever. It'll get us time to just sit back, relax, and hang out with me. So as you guys know, if you guys, we are going to be discussing the Idaho 4 case tonight. If you've been around this channel for any length of time, then you know that we've went over each family's interviews individually. So we've covered Xana's, Ethan's, and Maddie's so far. And now we're going to cover Kaylee's, because we never ended up finishing the series. Like I feel like it's sad that they're all grouped into a bunch now, but they are, and I didn't want to like leave hers out because I knew that she was going to need her, like Kaylee's family was going to need their own live. I didn't realize how many interviews there actually were. I was like, holy camole, like, because I had them like listed from a while back, but when I went back to recheck my work to make sure that I got them all, there was some that I was missing. So I was like, wow. So, and then I'm going to play some of Chronicles of Olivia's. She did like in the last interview with them. So I'm just going to play like a little bit of hers. So I tagged her in the description and everything. So, ooh, typhoons there, Tammy. Oh, no, Tammy Lynn. Taiwan, we get lots of typhoons here, but luckily the buildings here are pretty sturdy. Oh, I bet you make them extra. Oh, is Steve in here? Where's he at already? Somewhere southern. So yeah, so we're gonna see. That's what I want to see, Steve. I want to see what he says, like, because they do drop a lot of hints. They really do. Like I was watching them earlier today, and then I stopped myself because I was like, nope, watch them with everybody again, so that way because I didn't want my head to get like ahead of myself, But they drop like little like hints and stuff. So if you've never seen this picture, this is the whole family. This is one of their pictures they have on their Facebook group. This one was actually online, so I didn't take it off of their Facebook group. So, which I don't think that they would mind, but it has the whole family there, all the kids. They were a big family, and it goes, I believe, Olivia, and then I believe it's her brother, then Kaylee, and then the two youngest. Really? Someone that claims to be local? I wonder who the local person is, just Samantha, though. We've had a lot of weird locals come out. Someone said something funny today. Someone made a funny comment. Oh, who was that? They were like, who makes Banfield's, like, who makes her commentary or whatever? Like, who does her, like, like, does her stuff that she reads? And someone said, like, Justin and someone else, and I laughed really hard. Like, the Justin of the case, But I can't remember the other one, but it made me laugh really hard. So whoever that was, you were funny, funny, funny. Really? They said they live on Greek Road and everyone was told not to speak to media. That sounds right. Cause no one's been, well, I mean, like that, like, see, sounds right about Greek Road because no one's been speaking out. So yeah, this is all of them, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think there's only 5 of them. Yeah, because Kaylee was in the middle of the 2 youngest and the 2 oldest. I had to think, I was like, are we missing one? But no, we're not missing any. I think this picture might have been maybe a couple years old, though, because Steve Gonzalez, his son's name's Steve. And in the interviews, he looks a little bit older to me. But that's just my opinion. I don't know, maybe the picture's not as old as I thought, but I think it is a little bit, like maybe a year or 2 older. We can, Parker Marie. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back on it. You reminded me. I was going to, well, there we go. I was going to light so we had this green candle and we didn't really get to use it. So I was going to light this for Tay and for his mom, Passion. And if you weren't here last night, on the live, little boy that was, oh, here, let me put it back here. I think you can see it when it's like back there, but, hold on 1 second, guys. I wanted to do a couple updates. So Taylon Mosley is the little boy that we're talking about right now. His mom, Passion Jeffrey, was killed on, we think Wednesday night. And then the little boy was missing Thursday. around 2 o'clock, 2:30. That's when they figured out the little boy was missing. But the night before, no one knew this, but the night before, the baby's dad had come to his mom's home with marks all over, like cuts on his hands and arms. So the next day, they ended up finding the little boy. But when they found the little boy, we were all hoping for a really good reunion, and they found the little boy. He was in the lake in an alligator's mouth. So they had to get the little boy out of the alligator's mouth. So, I mean, it's like one of the worst stories I've ever covered. Like, when we were talking about Trent, I mean, Trent is so bad, it's not even like, it's sickening. And then, like, that's why we should never say, does it get any worse? Because it literally was like, bam, hit me right in the side of the head. Like, like, yeah, it can be, a mother and then a little boy, and then they pass away, and then this little boy is found in an alligator's mouth. Well, if you missed the live last night, we listened to it live last night on here, and it was incredible. It was terrible. Because I did a live yesterday morning and afternoon, like over the story. So we were just getting into the story, and this is what happened. And so it's just so sad. I'm going to have to get like a designated candle for us though. I have like a bunch at my store, but I want to get something special for over here, like something different. I know. How was that little 2-year-old? Yeah, such a threat to POS. Yeah. And then he went to the hospital because his injuries were so bad, which makes me smile. Because that means I bet you money, I bet you my life, that Passion fought with all of hers for her and her baby. And that's why he ended up going to the hospital too. Like, she is probably saying, I'm not going to go out by myself without showing you, So yeah, I mean, terrible news. I'm so glad that we can turn these cameras off, because last night when I heard that, I was like, thank God I had just turned my camera off, because I had a feeling when I saw the officer it wasn't going to be good, and I had a feeling I was going to get like, you could tell my face I was going to be sad, and I didn't want you guys to like all see that. So, but then I heard that instead, and it was just like, what? It was like, oh, it was even more shocking than just hearing that he passed away or, he was killed. Like, it was just even more shocking. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, he has been arrested. Yep. Oopsie. I hope I didn't. Okay. I can't do that. I can't. I thought I timed Teresa out for a minute, but I can't do it from over here. But I like clicked a couple buttons really fast. I was like, oh no. But I meant to put that on there. How horrific. Ethan, how old was he? Ethan was, so the baby that died was 2, but Ethan was 20 that passed. Ethan Chapin. But, and then the next one I wanted to give you another update on, so whenever we hear any more if we hear anything from Taylon's father, his name's Thomas Mosley, I believe. If we hear anything from him, I mean, I'll keep my ears out. I'll listen up for it, and I'll make sure that I, do it in a video. I'll do like a pre-recorded, or I'll do it in a live or something, but we'll make sure that I let you guys know when he has been questioned. If he does say anything, he might just lawyer up. If he's smart, I mean, like, he's probably just going to lawyer up. I mean, like, that's what people do. But he's not smart, I don't think, because he just killed 2 people. So that's just, Teresa, she said she'll be in court. You will be in court, and I'll be in there in spirit with you, because that's just terrible. Like, oh my Lord. Yeah. And then we had another case. If you weren't here for, I think it was was it Friday live? No, because it was Thursday's live. Wednesday or Thursday's live. We went and we were talking about Trent Lair Camp. If you haven't heard his story, it's one of torture. But they haven't really given too many updates. They did have a rally for him today. They did like a march, Justice for Trent March. It was on St. Simons Island. And it says hundreds of people showed up for that. And let me see if I can play this for you real quick. I don't know if it's, I don't have any like volume, but let me see if I can do this. Oh.
I made it up this morning.
Yes, sir.
Now this one says, I know. Now I don't know. You know. I know and I've been told. I know and I've been told. The cover up here is getting old. The cover up here is getting old. Until y'all give up your seats. Until y'all give up your seats. We're going to be out here in these streets. We're going to be out here in these streets. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. Sound off. 1, 2, 3, 4. No justice. No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Look at all those people. That's insane. That's like really awesome for Trent. No news on Shanquilla's case. The last I did an update video like a week ago, I think last week, and they're fighting like to see who's going to pretty much take it. Like, I guess the Mexican police are wanting to give it back to they're wanting to give it to the United States. So we're just waiting for them to accept it, I guess. So I've been really keeping my ears peeled for Shanquilla's family too. So sad. Like, look at all those people, though. So, Brett Buffington is the guy that I've been, like, going to for all my news on Trent because he literally is, like, right there. He's not leaving, like, until he gets some answers. And so this is the guy that posted this. But he did say that police in Glenn County tell me investigators in the case have done a follow-up interview with Trent Lair Camp about the attacks he went through. But it doesn't say how he's, like... So I'm assuming that he is doing... really good. I mean, no one is saying that he is like I haven't seen like anything where it's like, you know, saying that he's doing bad. Like he's just going forward. Let's see if I like yeah, it says that let's see. It just says that he continues to heal from his physical injury sustained after a brutal and disgusting attack on St. Simons Island last week. 10 days after the teen was dropped off at a Brunswick hospital, his blood alcohol content of more than 5 times what it considered impaired. Glenn County police have yet to make an arrest. I don't know why. Friday, local lenders held a State of the County luncheon where County Manager William Bill Fallon said county police served a search warrant at the island home where investigators believe the attacks happened. So that's really all they've done, is what I think I said last night. So hopefully we'll get more updates on him as well, because that's just despicable. I mean, how can people treat one another like that? I mean, in the last few days, I mean, I don't know. Since I started true crime, it's been a roller coaster, but I swear this year's been the most. Everyone is on the most bullcrap, I feel like, this year. Everyone be good. Be good, guys. If you're just now joining us, don't forget to hit the like button if you guys don't mind. That way it'll send it to the algorithm and more people will come in and join the chat. I do have it on subscriber only mode, but you just have to be a subscriber for like a minute and then you can join the chat. I do that to combat with bots. That way my mods aren't overtaken with the crazy people of YouTube. Thank you for becoming a member, Chosen Rosen. I like that. That's a cute name. He's like, didn't pick it to be cute, but I like it. It's something every day. No wonders why people hate America. It's going to shit. It has summer. I hate to say it, but we need to get our shit together over here. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's just over here. I think everyone needs to I think it's all over the place, but you know what I mean. Right there in this chat, though, we're all cool. But yeah, they probably do mock us. Yeah, welcome to being a member. I was going to tell you guys one more thing before I'm going to open up the panel tonight. So I'm going to open up the panel. I'll drop the link here in between videos if anyone wants to come up, ask questions, or just talk about the case. I think my necklace is like weird. So yeah, you'll need headphones though. If you do want to come up, you'll need headphones so it doesn't echo, and then just like a good internet connection. So, you know, and a quiet place. That's all I ask. That way it's just nice for everyone to hear. But yes, hazing turned sideways very quickly. That was like way worse than any hazing I've ever seen though, for real, for real. You know, wow. I mean, that was torture. Like, I don't know if you were in here. I said like, there was a hazing story. I don't remember what school this was from. I really don't. But it was, they made this kid, he died, but they made him drink too much water. Like those huge buckets, just like of water and water and water, to where like he literally drowned. But I've never heard of this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's bad enough. But like, I never heard of what they did to him. Was just insane. It was very insane. I'm going to take this thing off and check this necklace out, guys. Because it's going to bother me the whole dang life. I think it got like looped. Yep, it did. So, oh, hello, Miss Dick. Just making your appearance there a little later. So we are going to go ahead and get into Idaho 4. I'm just trying to fix my necklace here. It got kind of tangled. I'll fix it when we do the first video. So if I for some reason don't get these in they're in chronological order. But if I do miss one, just let me know. Oh, hi, Eastern Girl. I meant to say hi to you a minute ago or earlier. And I'm sorry. I meant to say hi to you because I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? But if I do miss anyone or any of the videos, just let me know and I'll try to find it. If not, you can send it to my email, titaniumbuiltboo@gmail.com, and I'll post it. But we do have, let's see, let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 videos. So they have spoken out. I figured we can go through them. I think that like I don't know. I feel like they told us things that we didn't quite pick up on, some of the things that they were telling us. But in the first video here, this is going to be Olivia. This is going to be Kaylee's sister Olivia and her husband. And this is the first video that I know of. And this is from November the 21st. Let me make sure that's 100% right. I know it is because I have these in order. Actually, I did switch up. This one is from actually the 15th. It was just updated on the 21st. Sorry about that. So November 15th. I thought that was the wrong date. Did I say Mary? Oh, if I said Mary, I don't know. If you're talking to me, I don't know if you're talking to me though. Summer. This is Olivia and her husband. Yeah, I'm lost too. Right, Davis. Hey, Parker Marie. I didn't see you sneak in either. We're always having, we always have a multiple conversations. Sorry. And we do that because, we kind of give updates in the beginning of the live sometimes if we have some important updates. And I can't, and I don't want to make not that I don't want to, not that it doesn't entail a whole video to make, it would be like a 2-minute video and you guys would be like, really, Tanya? The whole time I'd be asking you to subscribe and like, you'd be like, okay, what is she doing? So, okay, this is going to be with Kaylee's sister, like I said, Olivia and her husband. And this is the first interview I believe that they came out with.
Moscow police, they've said there is no imminent threat to the public, that they do believe this was an isolated, targeted attack. What is your take on that sentiment?
Yeah, I don't share that sentiment. Our family doesn't share that sentiment. I think that anything can be isolated until it's not. And until we have someone in custody, there's no way with any amount of confidence to say this is isolated. It's not, it wasn't a hit and run.
They're on the loose. No one's been arrested. So
yeah. It wasn't a hit and run and they got scared and drove off. It wasn't a car accident. Someone did this with the purpose of doing this. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4. And I don't know of anything scarier than that. I don't know what more people could be scared of. And I do want to add, being vigilant in this case is not enough. They were vigilant. They did go out in pairs. They did Uber downtown with a trusted Uber. They did Uber home with a trusted Uber. They only went to trusted places that they went every other weekend.
And this was in Moscow, Idaho. It has a reputation of being one of the safest
Absolutely.
college communities in the country.
They lived on one of the most iconic streets for being seniors. It's kind of a well-known place. And, I obviously don't know for a fact, but I know my sisters, and I know for a fact they locked their doors. So by all means, they did everything right.
Correct.
There was a keypad on their front door. I will say, due to the, closeness of the community and due to the safeness of it, I think a lot of people had, access to that door. But yes, that door had a keypad code on it.
Somebody knows something.
Exactly.
If you could talk to witnesses, to anyone, to maybe somebody who has heard a confession already at this point, and you could speak directly to them, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say if you know anything, if you think anything, if you heard anything, if you saw anything, just call it in. Even if the next morning you were taking your dog out for a walk and they were sniffing in a bush and there was a glove, call it in. Because it could be absolutely nothing. And if it is, then I am happy. And it could be absolutely something.
I don't think this has anything to do with it, but it just is ironic that she said, even if it's just something small like a glove, and then Chris McDonough finds that glove outside of the trash can, outside of the trash can. I thought that was I was like, wait a minute.
And if it is, I'd rather have it called in 17 times than never called in at all. I think to whomever did this, if you saw someone acting out of their nature, I know it's important to protect family. It's important to protect friends, and I know that those ties of loyalty are strong. But you should be scared, and this isn't someone that should be protected. So if you noticed odd behavior, if you noticed something in the shared bathroom trash can, if you noticed a weird smudge on the fridge after your roommate came home late, call it in.
Weird injuries.
Any injuries, anything at all, because worst case scenario, the police talk to them and they get to go home. If they have nothing to hide, then you just did your job. Call it in anonymously.
Any information at all that people could hand over to help would be amazing.
Yeah.
We just need more.
Tell me about your sister.
Yeah. Kaylee was a spitfire. She absolutely was, the tan blonde with a beautiful smile that lit up the room. But you hear that every time. She was so much more than that. She was an absolute brat. She was an absolute...
Like a true sister.
Totally. Just to be genuine, I know that that's what she would want, is just that authenticity. Because that's exactly who she was. She didn't take any crap from anyone. She didn't take any BS. She was a fighter. She was stubborn. She was the absolute justice police. One of her very first phrases was, "What about me?" She was always concerned about what was next. And Kaylee, unashamed of anything, loved the finer things in life. I would go up to her closet and take her and be like, "Olivia, that's literally Calvin Klein." It's literally name brand. And I'd be like, "I don't know what Brandy Melville is, Kaylee. Oh, you can have it back, sorry." But that was Kaylee. She loved the finer things. And she loved adventure. I won't say she just hated sitting, because we had plenty of lazy days together, but she liked to have, she collected memories. She loved taking photos. She loved having a very social life. She loved being that person on social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I know that those profiles are public, and I beg people to look at those gracefully. But yeah, look at them, because they were real human beings, Kaylee and Maddie, and they posted real college girl things, and they loved it,
I didn't mute that. That's weird. I didn't mute that, but she just was saying that I was reading her lips. She was the most genuinely kind person. That was really strange that they like cut out the audio. I thought maybe it's because like they redacted something in it, but I was like, no, I was like reading her lips. So yeah, Cheryl, that's her sister and her husband. So what we're doing is if you guys are just now joining us, we are going through all of the Gonzalez family's interviews. I tried to, and there's actually 13 instead of 12 videos. I thought there was 12. But there's 13 in total, and I think I got them all, and I think I have them in chronological order. So hopefully I do. If you see that I missed something, just let me know. Miss Linda surviving. She has no electricity, but DoorDash is available. That's the best part. Oh man, I remember being a kid and the electric going out, and my parents just making our lives like crap because they would just like tease us the whole time when it was out. They'd be like, do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? Like everything you couldn't do because you needed electricity. So this is the next one here I'm going to play. I wanted to tell you the date. This one was on November the 18th, and this is going to be Kaylee's sister, and she did a interview with Inside Edition, and it's just about how she was like trying to help, track down who the killer was for her sister and Maddie and their friends.
They are focusing their attention on the brutal slayings of 4 college kids.
How do you kill 4 people with a knife?
We're learning about another strange detail in this case.
My most immediate question is, where's the suspect?
Dozens of websites and postings from armchair detectives are springing up, and some of the best-known lawyers and detectives are offering their own theories about what may have happened.
Interesting how 4 students can be overcome by one person with a knife, not a gun.
Olivia Gonzalez isn't waiting for police. She's tracking down her own leads to find her sister Kaylee's killer.
We're not getting any answers, and we're not going to settle for that.
It was Olivia who found the potentially crucial video of her sister and Madison Mogan at a food truck just hours before they were murdered. She also tracked down their Uber driver.
I found neighbors' Ring camera footage so that I can verify that the Uber driver took her home.
She's also raising questions about why her sister called a young man named Jack multiple times the night she was slain.
At 2:26 a.m., Kaylee starts to call Jack. Kaylee calls Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. to 2:44 a.m.
Gosh, I give you a lot of credit. You're almost like a detective here, putting all the pieces together. I spoke with retired detective Phil Waters, who had a 96% clearance rate on homicide cases when he was with the Houston Police.
There's no doubt that this is a person who is filled with a type of evil that is incomprehensible.
There were 2 other roommates in the house who walked away from this. How is that possible?
The use of an edged weapon is going to prevent any kind of real sounds that would awaken the other 2 girls. If this person, and it appears to be they are, proficient with an edged weapon, the deaths would have occurred so quickly that there would have been no opportunity for them to cry out.
Yeah, that was the first time I think Phil Walters was on there. That was the first time he was interviewed on there. I think so too, Parker Marie. When you're vulnerable, yeah, it's easy to be overcome by adrenaline. I think that and if the first wound was so fatal, it incapacitated them. But the room that Maddie and Kaylee were in, it was just such a small room. Like there was no way to get away. It seemed like the way the bed was positioned. Like when you walk in the door, the bed's like right there. Like you would have to go around the person if they're standing at the foot of the bed. So it's just, I don't know. Yeah, they are. The Gonzalez family is a powerhouse. Did you get my email? I think I sent it earlier. Yeah. They are. So the Gonzalez family lawyer, their lawyer, Mr. Gray, is actually going to be, he is representing Kay and Larry in the Lori Daybell case. Daybell Vallow, whatever, Vallow Daybell case. So I think that he's going to maybe get some stuff done for them as well. So next one I have is going to be the interview. This is, let me see. Yeah, this is the interview that they do with Steve. I believe Steve, or I'm sorry, not Steve. This is the interview with Christy, Olivia, and Kaylee's aunt. And I don't know what her aunt's name is, but I think I just list her as the aunt. And this is the first one I think that they kind of go on to do together. Let's see if I can make this bigger. I can. And this one's kind of long, so I may pause it, like, as we go through it, because this one's like one of the longer ones that we have.
Yeah.
And if you notice back here, like their arrangements, like see the flowers. I didn't even think about that before. Like they got all these flowers back here. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. My name is Christy Gonzalves, KristigoncaLves.
Yeah, I'm Olivia Stevenson, ALIVEA STEVENSON. Gonzalez is my maiden name. I'm married.
My name is Tammy Buttes, TAMIBUTTZ.
Good? You guys good? Everybody good?
Which one?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You gotta get it right. Don't get mad.
I think we got it on the pickup. Good. Okay, so just first off, the map that just came out from police, it gives a little bit of a timeline of where they may have been that night. Does that map mesh up with the timeline that you've been putting together?
Yeah, I'd say it's very close. I'd say if you have any closer details to kind of hone in, 145 could be very vague. Maybe it's closer to 150. Let us know if you have anything concrete, because right now concrete's what we can go off of.
In terms of the details, you said it's close.
Mm-hmm.
Does that frustrate you that it's close?
I do, but right now we're still trusting authorities that, it's not going to be 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here that's breaking this. But yeah, I implore everyone, if they know something different, bring it to the police, because if they want to tighten up that timeline, we stand with that.
It seems like there's this very big gap when it comes to Ethan and Xana. Do you know where they might have been?
I don't, unfortunately. I know nothing about them.
We have no idea where they were, but we do have a pretty tight timeline on Kaylee and Maddie, and it is close to what they are posting, but it is a difference, and that difference actually could be huge. I mean, it could be, it could not be, but 145, 159. So there is, and we have corroborated with my phone records, Kaylee's phone records, the driver that was driving them around.
Yeah, so you
really
have,
concrete.
You have pulled video seeing the Uber driver dropping them off.
Yes.
You've checked your phone records. You know with
Yes.
timestamps what
Yes.
time they got home.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what police are saying, right?
Right.
It's not 145.
Kaylee and Maddie were picked up from their home at 1122 King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylee called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49, got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56.
Is it frustrating that your timeline is based on timestamps from videos and phone records, and their timeline doesn't exactly match yours?
I just feel like there's a reason they're just putting it out, the estimate. I don't know, because they do have that information from us, and they've asked us where we have gotten that information, and we have concrete backing. She put it together.
It could be conflicting stories. We just don't know. This is the information that I stand behind.
I think that when they say 145, I think they're kind of referring to the whole group arriving approximately 145. I believe that maybe Ethan and Xana, and I don't know, may have gotten home around that time. And then the girls, obviously 159-ish is shortly after. So they're just kind of grouping that the group arrived home around 145-ish. But they were not together. And we don't know anything about Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylee and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, you know that your sister was making calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was making calls as late as almost 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
We pulled my cell plan.
on Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
No.
they,
No, not at all. Kaylee had no shame in kind of power calling. So it fits Kaylee.
Yeah, no, yeah, and we know who she was calling, and this person is, yeah, and this person was asleep, unfortunately, was not getting the calls, and it was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple times, but no, it was not. We do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylee was in imminent danger, her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person. Yeah.
And that was
So
at around 2.
Yes. So at that time, we
Started
believe
around 2:30.
Yeah, we believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30ish.
2:30 is what, the last call?
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Short, yeah, that's right, 2:50 something.
2:52 for both of them.
Yeah.
It's now been 5 days,
Right.
and still no killer, still no motive. How are you guys holding up?
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. They obviously are, they're the same people to us, but they were different to all of us. To my mom, it was a daughter. To my aunt, they were nieces. To me, they were sisters. And we all had different, very complex and amazing relationships with both of them. So it's going to feel different.
Empty.
Yeah, for all
Kaylee
of
was
us.
just home. She just left on Friday. She left on Friday morning to go to a Pi-Fi party, and she had just bought a brand new Range Rover, and she contemplated all day long back and forth whether she should go home, and because she just really wanted to show it to Maddie, and some other friends and whatnot. And she's just like, Mom, I'm gonna go to the Pi-Fi party, and Maddie's got to see this my new ride. And I'm like, for sure. Like, I mean, it was nice.
Right.
It was really nice. She just bought it that day, all her own. And I talked to the girls on, she had a fun time on Friday night, both of the girls, and then both of the girls texted me on Saturday.
So you were talking to them
Afternoon.
Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yes, Saturday afternoon. They sent me pictures of themselves, and Kaylee called me around 2:30ish on Saturday afternoon. And then I was texting Kaylee just randomly on Sunday. And right about those, when I look back at my times that I was texting Kaylee, the police were swarming.
So you were trying to get a hold of her on Sunday morning.
Yeah, just random
Unrelated,
talking.
yeah.
Yeah, just, hey, what's going on? How did you guys do last night? We talked a lot. And she was supposed to be home on Tuesday. She said she'd be home on Tuesday.
We were talking a little bit earlier, but whoever did this is still out there.
Yes.
Do you have a message for them?
Turn yourself in. Stop all this. Let us mourn our children, and we can't when we know this person is out there. You know who did it. You know who you are. Just end it. The guilt has got to be just overwhelming. It's got to be sickening. Stop hiding. Stop running. Just turn yourself in. Just turn yourself in so we could move on. We could bury our girls. We could have a celebration of life for them. And continue to mourn and try the best to start the healing process. But we can't with this person just running around out there. This person's dangerous. And we fear that this person will do this again.
Now that he's done it once, he can definitely do it again.
We have no idea why. None. There's no reason why anyone should have been targeted for any reason.
These were young, beautiful children that were starting their lives, and they were successful, and they were go-getters, and they were strong. There's absolutely no reason for jealousy or anything for someone to take for children's lives like this. Turn yourself in. You owe it to these mothers of these children, these fathers, these families. You're wrong. Turn yourself in.
You said something that I've never even thought of, which is, it's almost the worst nightmare, which is how do you bury your daughter knowing that they could possibly come?
It's going to be, the services for these girls will be huge, public. And to think that this person is sitting, there at the church, I can't.
You're worried that the killer
Yeah.
might show up to their services.
Absolutely. Their candlelight vigil.
I forgot about that actually, that they were waiting to have the funerals until the person that they thought did this was, put in custody. And I think they actually had it the day of, didn't they, for Maddie and Kaylee? I think on the 30th they had their I don't think they called them funerals, like celebration of life. I think that's what they referred to them as. So I want to point that out. Also, I have that shirt. That's the green shirt I wore the other day. I'm telling you that me and her, we wear the same clothes because Christy has another shirt that's a maroon shirt like that one that I have. I'm about to get these out of the closet because I'm like, the girl's got taste though. I mean, I'm telling you. And her solids. I don't have very good taste though. I think that's more of me. But yeah, I just wanted to remind you guys of that because I didn't know if you guys remembered that. But yeah, so they did wait. I forgot that they waited because it's been so long, it seems like.
Vigils, all of that. It makes me sick that this person could be there, standing right behind us, waving a little candle. It's sickening, absolutely sickening. We're sick. We're just sick. We just want it to end. It's a living nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a living nightmare.
Now, in terms of what police have been able to communicate to you, have they been more forthcoming? Are they communicating with you enough?
I think it's an ongoing investigation. I think at the end of the day, I'm not an investigator.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want more information?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But we don't know if they have
Do
it.
I know that they have it, or do I know that they can give it to me? No. So of course I'm frustrated, but I can't necessarily point that finger direct.
Based on what you've seen so far, are you confident in their investigation?
I have to be. Right now, I have to be.
We're counting on it.
And I think that it's easy to sit back and say, oh, I would have done this. Oh, I would have done that. But I don't know what they walked into. I don't know what they've done. Are there definitely some things that, I've heard that I wish I hadn't heard about the investigation so far? Absolutely. But right now, I can't. I am frustrated that I don't have more information. But I don't know if they have information that they can give me.
We don't know. We don't know. My husband is in contact with them every day, the FBI, Moscow, Idaho State Police, and every day he just says, nothing, babe. And I'm like, nothing? And he's like, nothing. I mean, just nothing. And I don't know if that's because they have nothing or because they're protecting the investigation. So, it's hard to be mad at them if, we just know they're protecting the investigation. But it would be nice if they said, we have something, we have a little lead or we have an idea. And it just gives you a little bit of hope, you know? And I mean,
It is very hopeless right now, I guess, being left without that information.
Yeah, because you can't grieve, you can't feel safe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And if Kaylee and Maddie were down there right now in this situation with somebody else, they would be home. I would have told them, and they, I would have been, you girls need to get home now, like yesterday now. So, to families, I mean, I think it's Thanksgiving weekend is coming up and most kids are coming home, but there's no way. And there's no way that I would send them back until this person is found. This person, it's an isolated, targeted, incident until it's not. Until this person was angry. This was not just, oh, he got drunk at a party and shot up a party, which I'm not putting anything down to, people have lost loved ones that way. But this was a very
violent, targeted attack.
And hearing yesterday, hearing the coroner say that one person may have been killed in their sleep. Is that something that you had heard?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's hard, but I guess for us that kind of just indicates, premeditation, which we've been fighting since the beginning away from this term, crime of passion. I think that comes with a certain connotation that can lead to empathy, and we don't agree with that.
No.
So when you hear So when you hear them say that someone was killed in their sleep, you think premeditation.
Absolutely.
I think it's
Absolutely.
impossible not to.
And not one, four. I mean, I don't know if all four of them were, we don't really have the details, but regardless, 4 people were stabbed to death.
And premeditation, I mean, like you said, it's
You
very
went into
different than
somebody's
He
house.
went into
with a
someone's
knife.
house with a
I'm
knife.
not saying, weeks lead up. I'm not saying months
Right.
lead up. It literally could have been 20 minutes. I don't know. But to,
Somebody went in there.
this
with
wasn't
intent to
a
kill.
fight that, the girls had said something and offhand this occurred. They must have, walked in on vulnerable sleeping
A coward.
kids.
Coward.
And so for what it's worth, I want to run as far from the term of crime of passion as possible, because I think it's weak and I think it allows him to hide. And I think it gives him an out that he doesn't deserve.
That he walked in and got mad and angry. They were all there together and something occurred and he got mad and, wielded his weapon or whatever. No, this person snuck somehow into the house, whether it was a door, an unlocked door or an unlocked window, but he was not invited and he came in with a weapon.
To
and
do
he killed
intentional harm.
with intention, intention to kill.
Intention to kill, exactly. Not even
And-
harm, to kill.
Yeah,
And
and not
it's-
just one, not two, not three,
Of
4.
4.
One after another, after another, after another.
And again, that little detail about it shows like there's vulnerability, right? There is the idea that there may have been defensive wounds, but at least one person didn't see it coming.
Right.
As far as we know. We
Yeah.
don't know.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
According to what the coroner has said.
Right.
In terms of somebody getting into the house, they keep saying no sign of forced entry.
Right.
Do you think that this was somebody that was known to them?
I think that that's kind of an impossible question. I think it's a very popular house.
As a mother, I feel like they know him. I do. I've always felt that way. Nobody has told me that anyway.
Just
I
out of
just
gut.
feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a college town. It's a small town. I feel the girls knew this person.
But we don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't. Yeah, we absolutely don't know
We
that.
don't know that.
I just feel it in my heart that they knew the person, and I've always felt that way. I don't know why, but I've always said they knew him. They knew him. They know him. I just don't feel like this was like some rando just driving through Moscow, happened to stop by their house.
I will say they did have a keypad on their front door, and it was a very popular house. So I know for a fact that people who weren't necessarily roommates of the house did have that code. So no sign of forced entry doesn't necessarily mean that they were invited in. That's all I can say.
And the people that survived were on the first floor.
To our knowledge.
Yeah. And then if they come in through the keypad, is it possible to bypass a room on the first floor and
It
go
is.
up to the second floor and third
Correct.
floor?
Yes.
Yes.
There's also a door in the back that just leads directly to the middle floor.
I don't want to put you guys through it anymore. I think we're good.
One of our senior producers did have just one question. We know it's been tough getting answers from police for everybody. Just what have police told you guys about the investigation, what they found, what's going on? And God will.
Yeah, I think to answer that question, we know exactly what the public knows. We really don't have any further details. And unfortunately, if we did, I wouldn't give them to you guys.
Right.
Just
We wouldn't
frankly.
impede
We're not ready for that.
investigation.
I would
But
never
honest
impede
to
this
God,
investigation.
we don't.
The public needs to know is that there is someone out there that has violently killed 4 people, and that no matter who died first or second or last, they're gone, and we need to get this person now before it's too late for anybody else to suffer what we are suffering for the rest of our lives. He took their lives, but he took them from us. That will never change. We will never let Kaylee and Maddie's memory ever disappear, but that's all we have left, and that's not enough. Done. There's your answer.
There is no other information.
There is no other information to
And unfortunately, you guys will probably hear it first anyways.
get. Yeah,
before we
right?
do.
Yeah.
It's pretty true.
Things leak out there all the time. And we're like, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? We're
Yeah.
like, nope.
So
I called
have
my
been
husband. He's like, I haven't
grateful
heard that.
for the reporters and stuff that have reached out to me ahead of breaking these stories.
Yeah.
Even if it's only 20-minute heads up, it's nice to be able to process that information as a family first before reading it online.
Blast it out there.
Yeah.
To everyone who has done that, I just wanted to say thank you. I know that if it bleeds, it leads. I get this industry. I'm not stupid. But thank you to those who have done so respectfully
Yeah.
and with empathy in their hearts.
Agreed.
Thank you guys, and we'll do the same. I mean,
Of course. No, thank you.
But we can't with this person just.
Happy birthday, Kimberly. Happy birthday, Kim. Happy birthday, Kim. Happy birthday, Kim. What's your birthday wish, Kim?
Disneyland? Running around
Happy birthday to you.
out there. This person's dangerous. And we fear that this person will do this again.
Now that he's done it once, he can definitely do it again.
We have no.
To you. Happy birthday, dear kid.
Okay, that was so weird. Every time I kept like, that is so weird. Every time I kept like hitting the pause, it was like singing happy birthday to Kim. So whoever birthday it is out there, happy birthday to you. Wow, that was just kind of crazy there. Let me get through like a couple more of these videos and then I'll drop the panel link too for you guys. Let me just get back where I was. Wow, that was weird. That was really weird. She's back. That Kim lady. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but we went through, I believe, three videos so far, and I just noticed that Steve Gonzalez wasn't in them yet. So he must have been probably very, very torn up to where he wasn't even on the first few videos. It was more of just Christy and Olivia. And then the last one, had Olivia and her aunt. And I think that was Christy's sister. I'm not sure. It looked more like Christy than Steve's sister to me, but she sounded like Steve's sister. She sounded very like she was talking into that camera. She was talking to whoever did this. She was making sure. Hello, Pamela. Hello, Dreamcatcher. Welcome in. If you guys are just now joining us, we are going over Idaho 4. Turn my camera on here for a minute. We are going over the Idaho 4. We're doing all of Kaylee Gonalves' interviews that her family came out and they've done over the last few months. If you're new to the channel, we did do the ones over Ethan, Zaina, and Maddie as well, and they're in the playlist under the Idaho 4 playlist. I have a huge playlist. So if you're interested, it's there. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video if you guys wouldn't mind. I would really appreciate that. So, okay, I'll play this video here and then we'll see what we're at after this. And this is the first video where like Steve comes out and talks to Good Morning America. And, actually, let me see. Actually, I skipped one. So sorry. Share this one. I was like, that's why I have my notes. So this is actually the next one. So this is going to be Steve and his children. This is their interview with Olivia, and then this is, I believe, Steve Jr. And I guess that's what he would go by. But that's they're siblings of Kaylee.
How you guys doing?
Me? It's not real yet. I'm a bit in denial. I'm hoping for justice. That's why I'm trying to switch myself into that mode to try to find some justice. That's where I'm at.
I get it. Steve, Olivia?
Yeah, I just know my sister, she was a hard worker, and just sitting in my bed and crying myself to sleep isn't going to do her any justice. And that's not what she'd want me to do. She'd want me to stay active and doing what I can to spread her message and hope that we can find this suspect or suspects. And that's how I feel.
I get it. She's got a great smile. We keep showing that picture. I know your family's been frustrated with the investigation so far, understandably so. Here we are a week and a half out and really not much information about this. Does not appear to be a suspect. Tell me, Olivia, what specifically you've been frustrated with, because you did your own work here. For instance, you found video of the food truck, for example, where two of the victims were seen the same night as this killing.
Yeah, I would say, I think that obviously this is extremely personal for us and we treated it that way from the very get-go. I know how valuable those first 48, 72 hours are. And I can only hope that the police also know how valuable that is and that they have a lot of information there that just isn't public right now. I will say the one lingering frustration I have is the timeline. I know it's semantics, but my sisters got home at 1:56. It wasn't 1:45. I know it might not seem significant, but when we're looking for camera, when we're looking for dash footage, when we're looking for any of those things, I do feel it is valuable, and they did get home at 1:56. It was not 1:45.
Right. Well, there's one detail there. Kaylee's mother has said she believes that the suspect, the killer, is someone Kaylee knew very well, and that the killer might even be at the vigil. Remarkable. I wonder, Steve, do you share that view?
It's speculation. My daughter was very popular. It seemed like everyone that I talked to said she knew everyone. They had parties. They were college kids. They were about to graduate. Yeah. So that somebody could have partied in the house and got an idea or got the confidence to pull that off.
Steve, this question of a stalker, and I'm very conscious with this story of how many rumors have been circulating, and a lot of those rumors turn out to not be true. But Stephen, this discussion of the possibility she may have had a stalker, have police been able to stand that up, or not? They seem to be knocking that down.
Yeah, it seems to be knocked down. Obviously, any of that information would be new to us as well. Kaylee FaceTimed me. She didn't call or text. She FaceTimed me for literally hours, almost every single day. And she was extremely cautious. She was very vigilant. I think that she really would have noticed something, and she would have said it to us. She wasn't, scared to get us involved in her life in any capacity like that.
I know you're frustrated with how much and how information, developments in the investigation are being shared with the public. Are they sharing anything with you that they're not sharing publicly, in light of the fact that this was your sister, this was your daughter?
I'm not getting anything. They're not sharing much with me. I know that there's a separation in duties there. They do have the FBI now, so I don't know how much the individuals that I'm talking with, which are the local, are actually exercising their different jurisdictions. I think they might not know a lot because, they have briefings, and if they haven't had a briefing, they probably don't know exactly what's going on.
So take us into the jury deliberation room. Like, how long did it take was everybody in agreement that she wasn't at fault, or did it take some convincing?
I don't know why they gotta be so dang fast. I was trying to put in the chat that interview was, the one that I just played, that interview was on 11/23. I've been trying to remind myself to tell you guys. Let me turn my camera. I had to put on a hoodie because I was cold, and now I feel like I'm hot. What the heck? Have a good night, Mystic. Don't forget to come back and watch the rest of the video. And comment. We love comments. Yeah, where are you going? Are you just getting off because you have to go to sleep? Because I know sometimes people are like, it's late, that's why. So if you're just now joining us, we are going over the Idaho 4. Kaylee Gonalves' we have a collection of the interviews that her family has done over the last few months. We are going over those. I'm going to drop the panel link in the chat here momentarily if you want to come up and say anything. I do have 13 videos in total that I will show you guys tonight. So I think that I covered all of them. Hopefully I've got them all. If I didn't, I am so terribly sorry. And if you know which one I'm missing, let me know and I'll try to plug it in and find it for you guys. So, but I think I do have them all. Okay, so then this one here is going to be Steve's interview with Good Morning America, and this was on 11/29.
To the killings of those 4 University of Idaho students, police now sifting through hundreds of tips, thousands of pieces of evidence. Our Kana Whitworth has been on this story for us. Spoke with the father now of one of the victims. Kana, good morning.
Hey,
Hey, TJ, good morning. Kaylee Gonalves' father told me they moved to this region of Idaho because it was safe. There had not been a homicide in Moscow in 7 years. And now this morning he tells me the only thing worse than losing his daughter, her best friend, and 2 others is not knowing why or who is responsible.
This morning, students on edge at the University of Idaho as the search for the killer in that brutal quadruple homicide enters its 3rd week.
It is disconcerting that there's somebody out there who's done such a horrible thing and they haven't been caught.
The school posting this notice on social media Monday, writing increased security will be on site for the remainder of the semester. Steve Gonzalez, the father of one of the victims, 21-year-old Kaylee, now shedding new light on what happened that night in his first sit-down interview.
It was fast, and nobody suffered and nobody felt like that kind of pain.
2 other roommates survived on the ground floor, waking up several hours later, calling friends over when their roommates were unresponsive.
Do you know the reason why the initial concern was that a roommate was passed out?
I know the girls reached out via texting and calling, so I can only assume that by the phones being ignored, knowing how my daughter is not going to ignore calls and texting.
Officials maintain the murders happened between 3 and 4 a.m. and that the first 911 call was made around noon. Just hours later, Steve was informed of his daughter's death, not by police, but by family members on campus.
Let's call Maddie. And then you realize Maddie's gone too.
Madison Mogan was Kaylee's lifelong best friend. The pair seen together in their final hours of life, laughing and ordering late-night food before getting a ride home together in what Steve described as a sorority-designated driver service.
You can't imagine sending your girl to college and then they come back in an urn.
And now, the families of the victims growing frustrated by the lack of answers.
I haven't earned the ability to grieve the way that I want to grieve. I want to be able to have justice first.
Now, Steve says that he does plan to speak at the Candlelight Vigil tomorrow. He went on to say he doesn't want the city of Moscow to fall apart over this. And TJ, in a show of solidarity, that Candlelight Vigil will be held in various locations across this entire state.
All right, Kana, we thank you so much. And I want to bring in now ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett. The family's looking for answers, some details as they continue to trickle out, some of the new details we're hearing. What stands out to you?
So you have 4 people killed on 2 different floors of a house, which would certainly suggest, TJ, that somebody at least knew the basic layout of the house. Think about how long it would take to go from victim to victim, so somebody had patience. The police have described a combat-type knife. So the person apparently went there to really do what they ended up doing. So once you've eliminated, and I assume this has happened, sort of the immediate circle, college students that are around these kids, people that may have threatened one of them, stalked them, whatever. I'm not hearing anything that supports a killer in that group. So what do you have to do if there's not an immediate connection? You have to go to sort of a wider circle. You would look at, for example, maybe or maybe not somebody older. I only suggest that because this crime appears to be very focused and the person had a comfort level in the house. And so as a result, you start looking at sort of relationships that really aren't tight with these kids. See, somebody they met occasionally, somebody that may have come to the house to attend a party. Apparently this was a big party house. And so that makes it more difficult. Less connections makes it more difficult many times to solve a crime. And you're also going to have to look, and the police have already talked about this, of similar type crimes in other parts of the country, in particular in the Northwest, which they're saying initially there is no connection, and there may not be, but you're really going to have to look at this bigger circle that I'm suggesting.
A wider circle, somebody that knew the layout, some of those details, but what type of person, and somebody could argue, what kind of monster are they looking for?
So if somebody that's done this before, I mean, TJ, people who do this kind of stuff get a big thrill out of doing it. Now, we don't know if it's that type of person, but that it could be something like that. The idea that you killed 4 people just tells me that this was sort of driven by something you intrinsically wanted to do, less so than maybe one student mad at another student.
You can only imagine the fear in that community knowing that person is still out there. Brett Gary, we appreciate you as always.
Where do I know that Brad Garrett from? That little guy at the end. Do you know what case did he's been on some cases, but I don't know who he is. But he looks so dang familiar. Sorry, I was just reading the comments a little bit. But yeah, no, that's just a little strange. So the next video that we have is going to be the Candlelight Vigil. Do I say that wrong? How do you pronounce that? I'm about to pronounce that on my phone. Because I know everyone always says I say it wrong. Is it Vigil? Am I saying that wrong? Visual? I'll check on my phone while we're watching it. Because I never remember until we go to watch it. He's a profiler. That's how I know him, Parker. Okay. I was like, what does he do? Who is he? Yeah, he is. Okay. Because I know that he's worked on some high profile cases. I know there's one probably in particular. But so altogether I had 13 videos. And we're on, actually I don't know what number we're on, like because I had to back out of a few. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll be on the 6th, I believe. And this one, I think I have it like right up to where we need to be for them when they come on. Because this is all the parents, the collection of them. I swear I have really good ears. I can hear music. But it has to be impossible. Like, because we don't, I mean, unless someone has music on, I guess around our house, but it's probably in the living room. I'm just like, what is that noise? Sorry, guys. You know me. I always be hearing some weird stuff. Oh, okay, Rich. He was on the news. I'm going to have to look him up. I know that there's one case in particular that he's probably covered that I know of, so.
Just so I can let everybody know, the main reason I'm up here today is so that everybody can understand what we lost. I hope to be able to make you laugh, but I'm afraid we're gonna have to cry because we lost 4 beautiful souls. And the 2 that I'm up here to talk about are the ones I knew. And when I started thinking about how I was going to tell these people what their souls were like and the things that they shared with me, I started thinking that this is going to be really tough. So I did what you guys do. I Googled it. I went in and I looked for the most beautiful things in the world. I looked for some kind of inspiration. I knew I should have took creative writing a lot more serious, because I was in trouble. But I came up with the 7 wonders of the world, and I seen them, and I looked at them for inspiration, and I prayed to my girls, and I said, you're gonna have to help me here. I'm struggling. And they just came to me, and they told me there should be another wonder in the world. I said, all right, help me here. And they said, it's the wonder of the relationship of a father and his daughter. All right, that is pretty wonderful. You start wondering the minute they put that baby in your hand, you wonder what you're going to do. And you wonder how you're going to feed them and how you're going to take care of them. And then you wonder why your wife's yelling at you because you're feeding your baby a hamburger. You know, it's like, and then you wonder, how am I going to understand and make this the best opportunity for both of us? And you start seeing the world through the girl's eyes. And as a father, it's a little bit scary. You start seeing like the world starts having like this purple haze, and there's puppies, and there's kitties, and there's all these weird movies you have to watch, and they start crying all the time, but you start falling in love with this world that they built. You see this world and it changes, and you don't have pickup trucks and all these footballs. You start seeing the beauty of what they have and what makes them special. So when I was trying to see this world and I was trying to picture what my daughter would want me to say, she would want to say that she loved designer purses and brand new shoes and all these things. So that's the world as I see it now, and I never want to see it any other way. And yeah, one of the things is my girls, they gave me a sense like, don't go up there and embarrass us. And I was like, really? All right. And they're like, you just can't be a Chad dad. And I'm like, a Chad dad? But I do think I probably do need to talk to a manager in here for these lighting conditions, because it's not working. So I'm going to embarrass her a little bit, but I want everyone to know that these girls were absolutely beautiful. They had been friends since 6th grade. We both put them in a charter academy. They felt like they were being punished. 6th grade, they just found each other, and every day they did homework together. They came to our house together. They shared everything. They convinced us, they made a proposal to go to high school, to a regular high school. So then they went to high schools together. Then they started looking at colleges. They came here together. They eventually get into the same apartment together. And in the end, they died together in the same room, in the same bed. And it's a shame, and it hurts. But the beauty of the two always being together is something that it comforts us. It lets us know that they were with their best friends in the whole world. And it's like a book. It's like some kind of terrible chapter, but there's beauty in it. And we're going to get our justice. We're going to figure this stuff out. This community deserves that. And when I look at all you guys, there's only one way for this to get a little better, to heal a little bit. There's pain everywhere. You're just going to have to love each other. You guys are just going to have to hug each other. You're going to have to be a little awkward, and you're just going to have to share. And the only cure to pain is love. It's the only thing that's going to heal us. That's the only thing that's going to heal you. So all I challenge you in the next week, the next days, is just go out of your way and tell someone you love them. Love the people in your room that you go back to, your apartments, your house. And that will make a difference. And that's something that they can see where they're at right now. That you changed your life just a little bit, and you were a little bit nicer and a little bit kinder. Thank you.
That was like the saddest one. Oh, Teresa, I know. I saw a video. I jumped on Instagram for a second the other day, and the first video to pop up was here, I turn my camera back on, but was little Murphy, and he was running like towards the camera, and I lost it. I was crying. It was like one of those pictures. It was like these videos. It's like when next time you see each other, you know, this is how they're going to be running at you, and it's like the puppy was running. It made me so sad. I know a lot of people that, like, there are so many people that are so upset about that dog getting so much attention. And I'm just like, leave that poor dog alone. You know, that people want to give them toys, want to give them treats, want to love that dog. Let people love that dog. It's something that people are close to the case, and they want something to, like, they want to help. And that's the one way that people know they feel like they can help, is by buying stuff. And that's really, really it. I know. I was reading this, I was reading Teresa's message, and I said, I know, but she said his face and eyes are penetrating to the heart. Yeah, I think that with the families when they went up here when we did the Vigil, when we actually did this on Crime Sleuthing's channel, which I hope she's doing okay. I had to keep my camera off the whole night because I was crying so bad. It was so sad between the families. I think it's just terrible news. The Candlelight Vigil was on the November the 30th. And so the next video will be on they came out with will be on 12/4, so December the 4th. And let me make sure I'll check on some other stuff too while we're watching this video. The world is loving on the family. They are, Teresa, yes. Yes, it's a way of think of the family. And like all this, and all of the toys that like Murphy won't play with, because obviously, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but there's boxes and toys, and they could open up a pet store at this point, but they're donating all of that. They're donating it to shelters, to other animals, and they're posting pictures with the dogs, like other animals playing with the toys and stuff. So I think it's nice. And I've always wanted a Labradoodle or a Golden Doodle. I want either or. I think they're both really cute, and that's what she had. So I think those are like such good dogs. We have them in our neighborhood, and every time I see them, they're very my dogs are like running after them. Chained leashes, like the choke collars and everything, because my dogs are nuts. And then these dogs will just be sitting there like all pretty, just like, what, dude? They're just so chill for the most part, except for when they're puppies. I heard they're pretty rambunctious when they're puppies. So I think this was their first interview with NewsNation. And then this one they're just asking who did this to her?
At night.
Oh, let me rewind it. Sorry.
So heartbreaking what these families are going through. I had the chance to sit down with the Gonzalez family in Kaylee's home. Their loss, it is so heavy, and they have been vocal about their relentless search for justice and frustrations with the investigation. Here is part one of our conversation.
She was hurt so bad that she was not able to recover. That is just terrible.
No, it's okay.
It's terrible. I cannot fathom in my head what kind of person did this.
It's capable.
And why. I can't sleep at night. I lay in bed pondering just millions of different scenarios. And I want to know, but then there's stuff obviously you don't want to know, but
you just cry.
I think I want to know it all, and
you're okay.
I just don't understand why. How somebody could take somebody, four of them, it wasn't just my girl, just so savagely.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it?
I guess he didn't want to talk anymore. Hold on one second. Let me see if I just need to refresh it.
Just so heartbreaking.
I cannot fathom at night. I lay in bed pondering just millions of different scenarios, and I want to know, but then there's stuff obviously you don't want to know, but
you just cry.
I think I want to know it all, and
you're okay.
I just don't understand why. How somebody could take somebody, four of them, it wasn't just my girl, just so savagely.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can.
I'm gonna rewind this a little bit because I forget what she says in this, like in this part. Because I kind of want to go with I want to follow what they're saying. If I can rewind it.
Yes,
an hour later, and we're like, what?
I wonder who they meant by the persons that were cleared early on.
I mean, is it someone that she knew or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that, that's not what we're honing in on here.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to do that.
No. You've mentioned before that you didn't want to have a funeral right now because the killer's still out there. Is that something that you're still thinking about? Are you nervous at all? I mean, because in Moscow, we talked to students. People are really nervous there.
They should be.
Yeah.
This targeted to me, it seems behavior based. That's why I don't like it, and it kind of pits the parents against each other. So I don't like that. I just told some of the other parents today that if your daughter has no ill will for me, man. To me, if you go have a couple beers or go out and hang out with your friends and then come home and go to bed, if that's your target, then I think we all do that. I think we all come home and go to our beds.
It's all target.
Yeah, so
it's kind of a bad word then. It doesn't really make sense in some ways.
Exactly.
Even the prosecutor told me that.
Yeah.
He said, I think it was kind of a weird word to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it makes sense if there was some bad behavior that they did. Let's say, I don't know, they came from a strip club or something, and then somebody followed them home. That's a targeted thing. That's what comes. I've had innocent people that were interviewed that were their neighbors, and they said, I'd be a lot more scared if it wasn't targeted.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything to target me. And I'm like, well, if targeting's just going to bed with your friends.
So maybe that was just a way to calm people down?
I feel like it was strategic.
Yeah.
It was a strategic way to keep people from hitting the door, transferring out, and turning that place into a ghost town. So,
You never think you're going to lose your little sister. Ever. You never think you're going to have to bury your daughter.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's nothing compared to the pain that I feel.
Yeah.
Losing Kaylee. And I don't know. It's several things. It's her age. It's how it happened.
It's their life.
Why it happened. Who did this to her?
Just graduated.
Who did this to her and her friends? The fact that she was with her best friend. Since they were little girls.
That family tonight is so heartbroken. I've been in touch with them. It's literally unimaginable to think about what they are going through.
Well, crap.
The southern border now, where NewsNation, of course, extensively tracking the influx of migrants and cartels.
Oh, hold on, guys. You know what I just did? Just deleted the next video. But I know which one it was. Thank God. Because that would be... There are so many videos. So it was this one here. And it's... Let me just do that. Okay. And then let me just get it to where it needs to be. I think it needs to be right here, but I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, this one came out December the 4th. There was 2 that actually came out that like said that they came out the same day. So I'm not sure if they did 2 interviews, but they have on different clothes. So I don't know if they just maybe released them the same days. Yeah, my bloopers. Someone needs to be doing all these for me. It needs to be clipping my stuff. Oh my gosh. Because I do entertain. I try to. Let me just make, yeah. Just triple, quadruple making sure this is the right one. It is. So this is going to be the interview that Kaylee's parents did. This is when you can tell they are starting to get a little pissed at the police. This was like, I remember this interview like it was yesterday. This is, you hear, Kaylee's parents just speaking out about how they feel, what's going on in the investigation, and that they feel like they're not getting any answers that they deserve. And I can understand that being a parent, like I'm not a parent, but being a parent and having children, you want to do everything that you can. So for them, so I'll go ahead and play this one here.
Good evening, America, and welcome to this special edition of Cross Country in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight, we are in front of the Moscow Police Department, and you may be asking why. It's been about 3 weeks since the horrific stabbing death of 4 college students at the University of Idaho. 3 weeks since we lost Zayna, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan. 3 weeks, and still the police have no suspect or person of interest. The community has been left in limbo, left with more confusion and more questions. We are on the hunt for answers for them. Moscow deserves answers. The students of the university deserve answers. These 4 young, innocent victims deserve answers, and so do their families. So let's start there. Joining me now on set, the parents of Kaylee Gonalves, Christy and Steve Gonzalez. Thank y'all so much for being with me. You guys have been so transparent and strong for the public. Christy, you called the person that did this the boogeyman.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
It's literally like what nightmares are made of. Like when you're a little kid and you think of the boogeyman, that's just how I feel. Like that's just the horrific details of everything. Them just having a good time, going home and going to bed, and this happening to them.
Your best friend crawling into bed.
Just crawling in bed.
Every
and
girl
the
in
boogeyman
America
comes.
knows what that's
The
like.
boogeyman doesn't, meet you at McDonald's. I mean, the boogeyman comes and snatches you out of your bedroom.
Steve, we've been talking. I've been talking to folks in the community. You said something that stuck with me. You said, until this person is caught, you can't sleep in your bed.
No. I can't just lay in my bed and do nothing. That's not the way I raised my family. That's not the way I raised my girls and my son. You don't be a victim. You stand up for yourself and you do everything in your power to make sure people hear you. And they're gonna hear Kaylee. They're gonna hear Maddie. They're gonna hear these.
The other 2 as well.
Yes.
All of them.
I'm careful saying anything about them because I need to be careful because I can't speak on somebody else's child. But these 2 girls, I'm not trying to be a glory hound, but these 2 girls, I'm going to do what I can do, and we're not being victims. We're going to fight. We're going to figure out how to make sure that we hold everybody, accountable, and we keep eyes and attention on this and get this thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. What does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen, And those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're going to take that hit. So the officers, they looked me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can, but somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out there, like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something.
Some mail.
That was mail related. So we're working with them. We're not selling them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here. We just have no information as family, and it gets tough day after day after day. I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day. We're going to hear something, and you see these, oh, there's a break in the case, and it'll just be something stupid.
The sixth person on the lease that was never there. Stop playing games. This is serious. These are people's lives, and this is the future of this community. There's going to be 10,000, 15,000 kids that come into this community next year, or they don't. So be serious.
I had the opportunity to speak to some of my sources, and I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse her back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to go up the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match.
So I wonder why he's saying now that he didn't have to go up the steps. Is he still meaning because he went up there first? Because to me, that sounds almost like the targets were on the second floor. Why did he go up to the third floor? Or am I am I hearing that wrong? It's so strange to me. And I think with Xana being on TikTok at 4:12, she could have even been on it. Let's say she got on there at like 4:05 or 4:09 or 4:10. And she sat her phone down and the app was still running for a couple minutes till her phone locked the screen again. I'm not sure how that works with, the forensic part of it. Not that, but I don't know that part, when it comes to the IT. I'd have to ask Vincent on that one. But yeah, he does say their points of damage don't match. And I think that he means by that, Kaylee's injuries were worse than Maddie's injuries. And then they come out and they end up saying that later on. So yeah, this part, okay, I'm not the only one that thinks that, Amanda. Okay. Because I'm like, now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, well, what does he mean? Why did he, because he says, why did he go up? He didn't have to go upstairs. So you would think the targets would be on the second floor. Let's say the targets were on the second floor and he entered the back slider door, or he entered the front door and the targets were on the first floor. Yeah, I can rewind that one. Yeah, I can rewind this one for you guys. Yeah, let's listen to this part again. Let me just play it, then I'll rewind.
I'm just going to say it wasn't leaked. They don't match.
Would indicate.
They said, we're sorry. They told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically. And they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry. We can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted. Or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up
been
the
target.
steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, like he even mentions like he doesn't want to be the one to do it. I just wonder why they said that. So, oh, she's commented on it. Oh, actually, I think that you're right about that, Julie. Yeah, I think that we actually showed that on this channel. I think that you're right about that. I think that she did comment or she posted or something. I think she even posted that day, maybe. That's why it's always like a good thing, I guess, to go back through the interviews and things, because you'll hear things that you didn't hear before. But yeah, he doesn't have to go up the steps. To me, that's saying that he went up there because either that was where his target was, or that's the only thing I can think of. It would have, like, that's what, I feel like that's what Mr. Gonzalez is saying anyway.
He doesn't have to go up the steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just going to say it wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. You ain't taking that from me.
Calm down.
If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet. But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter.
Did you see the interview guy? He like reached out and touched Christy's arm when she told Steve to calm down. I never realized that before. That's like really like, that was sweet. I just noticed that. But yeah, now that bothers me. I'm over here like, just like racking my brain with that one. Because he didn't have to go up. Yeah, he said he didn't have to go up the steps. Because I remember when this interview came out, that was like a bombshell thing. Like everyone was talking about that. Like, whoa, wait, what did he say? Because, I mean, he's an angry father right now, which I understand.
She get an education. She came back in the box, and I can speak on that.
I was also told from sources that are closer to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's, I mean, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know. I mean, we've heard so many different things, and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I mean, I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you have asked that, but we know that this is getting 3 weeks in, and it's starting to get, we don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I've reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all worry that at the end of this week that this case may be
100%.
cold?
We're scared.
When you tell me you don't want a photo up there with the reward offering information, that kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story. I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong, and you officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to.
absolutely.
Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then You know,
Give us
the
something.
community, this is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So that's what we asked for. I hope like a DNA, a family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking, this town is not that big. We could figure out this, and it might not be him. It might be a family member. We have family all going to the school together. You know, there's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We could find this guy
Those,
just with volunteers.
lineage companies were, yeah.
Put Idaho on the map.
Christy, Steve, we're going to stay on this case.
Thank you.
We're not going anywhere.
Thank you.
You guys have been candid with us. We'll keep asking questions. Any resource that we have available, our audience is praying for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. It was big for you guys to come back to Moscow tonight. I know it took a lot of courage to do it, and I'm hoping we can get some answers for you. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
That guy that interviewed them was just so sweet. Oh, don't you do this to me. Just close that out. Okay, I got the other one back up, the other interview, because I wanted to see myself what they said too. Because I thought we heard the same thing. Let me just find it for you guys. I'm going to play it from like here, and then we'll see if what we hear.
Since the murders, I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew, or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
It does almost sound like he says, is that where you meant is that where you were, where it was? He says she had a strong alibi. Maybe he misspoke, but stumbled his words, but I did hear something. So let me just go back right here, because I think that's where you guys were talking about.
An hour later, and we're like, what? So like, there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
What do you think they're saying? Now I don't know. I wonder if I should put up I don't know if it'll put it up there, like if I did the closed captioning, if it would actually pull it up. But there was an interview with NewsNation, Kay said. I can try to find it. I don't know if you know which interview it was, you can send it to me, because I saw some people talking about it in the chat. But it does sound like he says she had a strong alibi. Now I don't know who he was talking about, so I don't know. Yeah, who is she? That's what I'm wondering too. So I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to come back again and just I don't want to be repetitive, but I do want to hear that again. I had a feeling we would hear some stuff in these interviews we didn't hear before. So let's go back.
Is it some name, but I knew, or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at, and yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and,
I wonder who they're talking about though. Because it doesn't say, you know what I mean? It just says it doesn't say who they're really talking about, just saying that they should have checked them a little better, their alibis. Which Annie Potts, good ear. Because I was like, wow, that was that was that's what I thought I heard too. But I didn't hear it the first time, so I didn't even see you guys in the chat until like someone said, I saw Summer say like do the @ sign, and I was like, oh, is someone trying to get a hold of me? So sorry. Sometimes I don't see the comments. Your girl's a little blind in the one eye, you know. She's a little blind. So I'm glad you guys stopped me. So I'm glad you guys got my attention, so we could listen to that again, because that was I don't know. I wonder what he was talking about there. 86 days till pre-trial. So Teresa's got her countdown going, guys. You know what that means? It's going to be 86 days until we got a lot of things going on, because we have actually Brian Cohlberger and Delphi case the same month. They're both going to court. So, how about that? What was I going to say? I was going to say something, guys, first. I forget what I was going to say now. I don't know. We'll get there. I don't know what I was going to say. But I know that we have a couple big cases coming up that month. And we do have some, actually, we have Lori Daybell's going on Monday. Brian Walsh, he done got indicted the other day, so. You're absolutely right, Parker Marie. Ted Bundy and Gacy also said, yep. Did you arrest anyone else? So he might have got, yeah. So Brian might have stole that out of the old playbook. You are right, Parker Marie, about that. Okay, so the next video. Oh, so Sarah Boone's been continuous till July. Yeah, I forgot about that one. How can you forget about her? I will be bringing out a video tomorrow on her, like a little update. She went to court. Her hair looks good. I mean, she got her hair cut since the last time we saw her. So let's go back to these. I was trying to put these in order for you guys, and then we kind of got mixed up. So this one will be, let me see what it says on here, January 2nd. Okay, so this is going to be after Cohlberger was arrested. So this is going to be Kaylee's dad speaking on Cohlberger's arrest. And I feel like you can see, like, this is when you kind of like see a change in people. Like, you know, when they start to like, they get answers and you can kind of feel like they're getting rest assured almost in a way. Like you could see like the color coming back to their faces and almost a hint of like who they used to be, you know, before all this horrible stuff happened to them. And so I think this is when they start to really get tough, is whenever, you know, they got Brian into custody. Oh, thank you, Anita. She said, hi, love. I like your channel. I was wondering how long you've been doing this YouTube channel. It's very good, open opinions, and that's rarely okay. We've been over here. I've been doing YouTube for a few years, but I just started doing true crime in September. So I'm very, very new. I was a trauma channel before I was a true crime channel. So I guess I'm actually kind of a little of both now. But thank you so much. I'm really glad you like it, and I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad the chat is on fire tonight. You guys are doing good. You guys are entertaining each other. No one's getting mad at anybody. No, we have our guys that usually come in that, you know, we laugh with them. Like at the end of the day, we all have difference of opinions, but we can all kind of still hopefully come together at the end. Hopefully nobody comes in with anything too ridiculous. I mean, every once in a while I do have to stop the chat, but I haven't had to do that tonight. And Teresa's always here. Teresa's our mod. That's our Mother Teresa mod. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Mary Beth. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, you know, all that fun stuff. We are discussing, if you're just now joining us, Idaho 4. We're going over Kaylee Gonalves' parents and her family's interviews that they've come out with over the last few months. We are on, this is going to be 1-2. So this is going to be January 2nd, and Kaylee's dad speaks on Cohlberger's arrest.
Somebody she trusted and loved.
Rewind this.
January 2nd, this is NewsNation Rush Hour, and we start with some brand new details in the shocking arrest and the quadruple murder of 4 college students that's gripped the country. We've been covering it closely from Moscow since the very beginning, and then that major breaking news Friday, an arrest in the case 47 days later. Brian Cohlberger, a graduate student studying criminology at Washington State University, just a 10-minute drive from the University of Idaho campus. He was taken into custody in Pennsylvania. His extradition hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. And we're learning more about his studies under a serial killer expert and a treasure trove of evidence from his apartment. But first, and new just into our newsroom, the father of one of the victims, Kaylee Gonalves, breaking his silence on this arrest to senior national correspondent Brian Enton, who joins us live from Pennsylvania. So, Brian, what did he tell you?
Yeah, Nicole, I just wrapped up this conversation with Kaylee's dad, Stephen. Still heartbroken, but said initially when they learned about the arrest, they were the first to learn about it from police late Thursday night that the arrest was going to happen. They felt some relief. They even felt joy to a certain extent. But now the feeling is just being overwhelmed, knowing that the court process is about to begin and that they are going to see the accused killer face to face.
Accused Idaho killer Brian Cohlberger could be in Idaho as early as tomorrow night after a hearing in Pennsylvania where Cohlberger is expected not to fight his extradition.
There's going to be somebody there looking him in the face and letting him know that this isn't going away anytime soon. This is just the beginning.
Victim Kaylee Gonalves' father, Steve, says they are looking for connections between Cohlberger and Kaylee and the other victims.
I'm biased, but if you got to know my daughter, I would think it'd be impossible for you to hurt her. So I think a little bit of us all kind of felt like this was somebody who didn't have a chance to meet her, talk to her, get to know her, because she was a very likable person and she didn't have a mean bone in her body. So I think there's a little comfort in knowing that this person wasn't somebody she trusted and loved.
Cohlberger's public defender tells NewsNation in mid-December Brian's dad drove back with him from Pullman, Washington to Monroe County, Pennsylvania in the white Hyundai Elantra police have been looking for. His attorney says Cohlberger is eager to be exonerated.
I'm a reporter.
Get off my property. It's private property.
Cohlberger's family did not answer when I went to their house where he was arrested, but released a statement through the public defender saying they are cooperating with law enforcement. And first and foremost, we care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. There are no words that can adequately express the sadness we feel, and we pray each day for them. We will continue to let the legal process unfold, and as a family, we will love and support our son and brother. Before moving to Washington State University to get his PhD, Cohlberger got his master's from DeSales University in Pennsylvania. NewsNation has obtained this photo of Cohlberger taken during a group project at DeSales University in 2019. Students who studied with him tell NewsNation they've been told to only talk to police because they could potentially be called as character witnesses in the case. They did say he was, quote, controlling during the group project.
What do you make, Steve, of the fact that, he was getting his PhD in criminal justice and had his master's in criminology and sort of had this knowledge of the way the system works?
I feel like he definitely was into this type of thing. He had made a lifetime commitment to wrapping himself into crime and solving crime and figuring out how people got caught, interviewing people, doing different things that a normal student wouldn't be so interested in. So I think he maybe got a little overconfident and didn't realize that there really is no perfect way to commit a crime.
Okay, so tomorrow Cohlberger will be in court in the courthouse behind me here in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. We expect him to waive his extradition hearing, and he could be on his way back to Idaho as early as tomorrow afternoon. Nicole?
All right, so Brian, you've also been digging into to Cohlberger's connection to a well-known serial killer.
Yeah, this is a crazy connection, Nicole. Basically, Cohlberger's professor at DeSales University here in Pennsylvania is the pretty much preeminent expert on the serial killer BTK. Interviewed him, had a number of intimate interviews with BTK, the serial killer, over the course of about 10 years, and then wrote the autobiography on BTK for BTK. BTK's daughter is speaking exclusively with us about this connection and even questioning whether Cohlberger may have been corresponding with her father in prison. You're going to hear that exclusive interview coming up in about 30 minutes.
Moments.
Knew they were going to try to get me with that. Got them first. I don't know how LinkedIn works. I'm like really bad about that. Actually, I have like, let's see how many notifications I have right now on my LinkedIn. I don't get on there. But my ex job, the place I used to work, they get on there and look at my profile. So I always have a bunch of like, missed things. Yeah, I don't even know where the app is. That's how much I use it, guys. But if you guys know how to use it, let me know. I was going to try to look. But yeah, can't even find it on my own dang phone. Now it's making me mad. Like now I'm over here like fighting it. So, I have 34 notifications. I guess I don't have that many, but that's just crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like she wouldn't be able to private it if she was already if she was killed. But why would someone even need a private at LinkedIn? Like who even talks on LinkedIn? I don't know. Do people talk? Do they use LinkedIn like that? Like, I guess, people could. Let me see. I said, you read almost everyone's texts, almost have to get a super chat or donation in order for our questions or comments read out loud. You're great for not shoveling only your view and opinions back out. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. I try to read them as much as I can. And if I miss them, then we try to go back. Someone deleted her LinkedIn. Yeah, that's just so weird. Who would, I guess people do communicate on LinkedIn. She was a professional woman. She was going to do that internship. I think it was for an IT company. So maybe she did use LinkedIn more than I would. And Vincent doesn't use social media at all, so I couldn't even ask him. He's not very social. He's not very social. Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I don't know if she deleted it or I don't know. I did, that's the first time I've heard that. That's why I'm like, Oh, because you can text on LinkedIn doesn't save to the cell like you can with the cloud. Oh. Man, y'all are smart around here. You guys are smart. That's why I bring half my questions to you guys. I wonder where her sister said that so I could hear it.
On the show.
And then we could, see what she was talking about. Let me rewind this one. This one's going to be Kumo. This was when Steve brings in Shannon Gray, I believe, for the first time. And you can tell by the look on his face, he means business. So this was January the 6th.
A couple of times. It's around also. It's good to see you, Counselor.
Thanks.
Stephen, I'm very sorry to meet you under these circumstances. I really feel for your family. I've been watching you and reading your words and talking with your attorney. I know what this has been like on your family. And first and foremost, how's everybody doing?
It's hard to get a grasp. Today we have a basketball game to go to. My youngest daughter will be playing basketball today. So after I'm done with this, we'll be in a gym and cheering her on and hoping that they win another game.
What is normal now? Where is your head and heart in terms of how you process how to feel?
I don't know what normal is. We're trying to figure that out. Me, my wife, and the children. We just try to do the normal things, go to dinner and, have some time, spend together, play some board games.
I might have to refresh it. I think it's because I had these windows open for so long. Let me see. Okay, we're at a minute 12. Sorry about the delay, guys. I think it's just because I had it open.
So joining us now is
To my Bina gym and cheering her on and hoping that they win another game.
what is normal now? Where is your head and heart in terms of how you process how to feel?
I don't know what normal is. We're trying to figure that out. Me, my wife, and the children. You know, we just try to do the normal things, go to dinner and, you know, have some time, spend together, play some board games, just do things that, you know, Kaylee loved when she was here. And we're a big family, so we enjoy our company, and there's usually 2 or 3 friends spend the night. So we just try to stay busy. I think it's hardest when you have idle time in mind. That's when it starts hitting you the worst.
There was such urgency to find who did this. How did it hit you once they did? When you saw the face, when you saw the name, what did it mean?
It was a chapter. It was like, all right, this is how I planned it. We were going to get this guy, and I wanted to get him faster. You know, obviously, everyone tells you time's an essence. So the longer you feel, the more dread you have, and the more pressure you feel that you need to do something, because things don't happen on their own. But I mean, I knew I had a lot of officers and a lot of agents working on this case, and I just try to sit back and give them time, and then keep my family stable.
I know you guys have been concerned about communication and how they were doing the job and the intensity. Did not just the arrest, but the affidavit allay your fears that these guys were up to the job, the level of detail, the legwork?
Yeah, definitely. If I would have had a tenth of that, I would have not stressed so much, and I think my wife as well. But it's not really about me. It's about justice, and it's about all the families being able to make sure that they get that justice. So, you know, unfortunately, you have to suffer. You know, you have to go through some heartache, and you have to just put your trust in a group of other people. That's not easy for me. I'm a self-control kind of guy. I want to be able to go and do it and not be a victim and not blame others. I want to take an active role. But in this case, that was all I was given. We were active and we helped, but you still got to trust the system. And in the long run, we got what we were looking for. And that affidavit's very impressive, and there's a lot of evidence there.
It's very impressive. What else is it to be the father of a young woman who was stolen by this guy? When you read it, what was its impact on you?
It's hard. I mean, there's parts you just don't want to read. You don't want to think about why he would say some of the words that he said. You know, the eyewitness overhearing him talk. It enrages you to the point where you want to do something stupid. So I try to I stop, and then I go back later on when I have a fresh mind, and then I can go back and look at it again and then absorb what's in there. But I can't do it all at once.
Is this the guy you imagined?
No, I thought he would be much more, you know, bigger and more of a monster, obviously, and have those key looks of somebody who couldn't get along with girls, and this was like his only option or something. He just looked like a normal guy that when it stood up any room or any party, you wouldn't, just by the looks of him, you wouldn't realize that he had that going through his head.
Okay, let me pull up. I can pull it up. Let's see. Because I saw where it said it, but like I could see where it was said it on Reddit, but the person that had posted it on Reddit, was posted by Here for the Jokes. So I didn't want to go by that person's post because, you know, their name is Here for the Jokes. So if you guys could tell me which short video it is, though, I could play it. I don't know which one it is. So let me see here. Let me share this with you first. Do you know which title it is? I don't think so, Annie Potts. We haven't heard that one yet. And I feel like I should have remembered that. But I've watched these videos so many times over again, it seems like. So yeah, if you guys can remember which video it is, just let me know, and then I'll go back to that. Because I do have the interview that Olivia got with the family. I do want to share that with you. Like, I'm going to share just some of it. Not all of it, but you guys, I'll let you know exactly where it's at if you guys want to watch the whole documentary on it, because it is she did a really good job on the documentary. I'll give that girl some credit. She's got some good documentary skills. And I mean, even Bullhorn Betty's with her, and Bullhorn Betty's asking the questions, and she does do it. She does this in a very professional way. So I can't say anything bad about the way that they conducted this interview. I think that they did a really good job. So I'll show you guys that one at the end, because that's the last interview that the family that did, you know, that's the last time they were really speaking out publicly, I guess you would say, where it's not where they're like a source or something, you know, where we actually can see them. And so let's see, where are we at now? So this one says it came out the same day, 1/6. And this is going to be Banfield with Steve and Christy. And actually, this one's kind of a longer one too. I just wanted to see. Okay, so I'll probably end up, this is the one they have with Shannon Gray as well. So I'll probably end up pausing this one. If you guys need me to pause it, just try to throw it in the chat, and I'll try to, you know, make sure I have my eye in the chat.
Mother and father.
I should just actually, you know what I should do? I should just redo this.
Mother and father.
Okay, why did it do that?
It's very emotional, but on the other hand, I just...
Okay.
Mother and father of Kaylee Gonalves. They've been patiently waiting by. Their attorney, Shannon Gray, is also standing by as well. And thank you, all of you, for doing this and giving us this opportunity to touch base with you. I know this has got to have been one of the most difficult days of your life. Steve, let me begin with you. Your reaction after laying eyes on the person accused of doing this horrendous crime against your family.
I just looked at a guy that looks like a normal, everyday, you know, kid. I mean, I didn't see anything there that caught my eye. I just was overtaken by the fact that I was in a courtroom going over a case that had to do with two people that I cared and loved about. It was a little bit unreal, but I was just overtaken by the moment.
Christy, I can imagine that that is an understatement, being overtaken by something. You're in a club no one ever wants to belong to. There are so many others across this country who have been through what you've been through and say the same thing. It's unbelievable. They're numb. Does that sum up how you felt? Can you tell me what you thought?
You know, I expected to feel you know, just this immense amount of hate. And I'm sure that will come. I think that I'm a little bit in shock still. But looking at him, I just felt nothing. I mean, I just looked at him like, and I couldn't take my eyes off of him, his every moment. And I just could not believe that he has done what he has done. And I had a sick feeling for sure. It was very emotional. But on the other hand, I just was numb.
You expected him to be a bigger monster and a more intimidating.
I mean, I'm like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy that murdered our daughter.
Are you going to be okay with continuing these court hearings? Are you going to show up at all of these court hearings? This is a lot. It's a lot to process. Before this, you were just parents of a, couple of really great kids and living the American dream. And now there's this new normal in your life.
I think we'll lean on the prosecutor to tell us if the information is going to be to a level. Like I've already told them what I'm comfortable with hearing about the family house. I don't want to hear any of the gory details. So there'll be certain days that we're there and certain days that we check out,
We have Shannon that will keep us in tune with that as well. And we have other family members that will be going on some of those harder days. They feel that they can be there because we know it's a long road, but and it's a drive for us, but we'll do it every day if we have to. We just don't want to do big bad details.
There's there on the screen there are pictures of Kaylee as you're talking, and I'm always struck by how much she looks like you. Absolutely stunning.
You.
Just such a
She was
beautiful girl.
beautiful.
Indeed.
Yeah, we didn't look
And
like that. Mama's girl.
She looks like you, Steve. She's got some of you too.
Oh, that's so sweet. Like, look at them smiling, being just like the thought of them talking about their daughter. Like, that's so sweet.
I just wanted to get a sense from you about justice. What is it? What does it look like for you? I mean, you're just starting this process.
For me, it's going to look a lot like an end. I mean, justice doesn't have a room where you can read books and you can go to school and you can have, 3 meals and you can have your vegan diet. To me, that's not justice. Justice is when you leave the planet and the whole world is able to rejoice and be glad that you are not there. That's justice, and we will forgive him. We will. We're not going to have that heavy weight on us. We will forgive this individual, and we will, but he has to pay for what he's done. And it's not just our daughter, it's all the victims he needs to pay justice to. And, that's all I can say about it.
Yeah.
Chrissy, it's always a shock to face the person who's alleged to have committed these horrendous acts and changed your lives forever. If you could say something to this person, what would you say?
I would just, I wouldn't want to give him too much. But I mean, I would tell him that, he destroyed our lives in an aspect. Does he realize what he has taken from us, from these 4 families? I mean, Ethan was a triplet.
Could you imagine walking into court? Like, you walking into court and you see Cohlberger. Like, really, though. I mean, you're thinking this is a monster, someone that comes in, like, I forget what he used the word, like the boogeyman or something like that comes in the middle of the night. He used that in one of the prior interviews that he did. And it was either him or Christy used that term. But, then they walk in and they see him. They were probably like, where's the rest of him? I'm surprised Steve was able to keep his composure. But I'm sure that every officer in that courthouse knew who Steve Gonzalez was before he walked in to court that day. They probably had a little meeting, was like, okay, everybody just keep your eye on Steve. Because, he'll get his own justice if he needed to. But as far as, they're concerned, I think that they feel they got the right person in custody.
Maddie was an only child. Xana had siblings. Kaylee was one of 5. She was the middle child. She had 2 older siblings, 2 younger siblings. Just the immense loss. I mean, did he really think? He did really think about it, which makes it really hard. But why?
And I would add to that if you were looking for cruel girls that were bullies to you through your life when you were struggling, you picked the wrong girls. My girls have been through a lot, and they weren't the ones to pick on somebody that because they were overweight or they were struggling and people weren't. They were actually the ones that stick up for you. So yeah, you picked the wrong person if you were looking for vengeance on some people that were mean to you in your life, and you picked the wrong community. And we're gonna have to hold you accountable for that mistake.
Speaking of that accountability, has the prosecution or anybody from the prosecutor's office discussed the option of a death penalty? Because victims' families are consulted typically throughout the process, and this is an option on the table in the state of Idaho.
We've talked with them. We've had multiple meetings. I think they probably want to do it all the families together before they just approach one. That would make the most sense. But we've had meetings, but we have not crossed that actual
question.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't even disclose just until recently that they were this close. They kind of said that, hey, give us some time. We think we have the right person. We're going to get this. But we couldn't go from that to death penalty or those type of details.
Do you both have a feeling as to how you would respond to that question once the prosecutors put it to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know.
We're glad that we live in Idaho.
Definitely.
I'm assuming that you are in favor of the death penalty for this defendant.
If our daughters could switch places with him, and I'm saying Maddie is my daughter, we'd do it in a heartbeat. If they could sit there and have 3 squares, a place to live, and we could call them, we could write them letters, they could watch TV, they could get educated.
I would love if Maddie and Kaylee were doing life in prison right now.
Yeah, so
at least we could talk to them.
That's not.
They'd be breathing.
A punishment equivalent to being killed. That's God's role. And if you want to play God's role, then you're gonna have to go answer to him.
Do you know if the Mogan family feels the same way? I know you all are very close with the Mogans.
We have not talked to them about that. I was going to call her last night, and I did not. So I'm not sure.
Easy to talk about.
I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that that they will, but I can't say that for sure.
They're very forgiving.
I want to ask.
Family.
It's incredible to hear the words forgiveness out of your mouth, Steve. It floors me. It's extraordinarily magnanimous. You're a very strong family if you're able to be there today, especially on day one of this process, seeing him for the first time. I would love to ask your attorney, Shannon Gray, if I can. Shannon, was there anything in the affidavit you didn't already know about? Are there things that you know more about than the public knows now?
Well, I think there were a lot of things in the affidavit that we had no idea about. The DNA and the sheath, we had suspected some things. The identification, I think we had suspected. But there were a lot of things that, there was quite a bit of information in that affidavit. I was actually surprised there was so much information in the affidavit. But, it looks like it's a solid case. And, I kind of look at the case in 2 different ways. As a former prosecutor, I look at it as a prosecution case, and it looks like a solid case. And then I flip the hat and I say, okay, as a criminal defense attorney, how would I look at it? And I still have a hard time with the evidence that's been mentioned in the affidavit. And that's not the entire case. There'll be additional circumstantial evidence that'll be provided that will make more connections, hopefully, with the defendant in the case. And like they've always said, it's not just a arrest, it's a conviction. So we're hoping that that's the case.
Steve and Christy, when we covered the tragedy that befell Gabby Petito, her father, Joe Petito, said that there were some lessons that he learned very early in the process, and that was to pay particular attention to your other kids because they are going through an immeasurable trauma. Have you had a chance to navigate this with your other kids, with Kaylee's siblings, and have you charted a course forward?
Yes, we have. Our 2 are adults and they are grown, and we have talked to them, and they know, they can reach out to grief counseling and whatnot. And we are very open, and we talk a lot about it. We cry a lot about it, and that's not always enough. But our two younger children, right now we're kind of letting them do their own grieving for a little while longer before we start some grief counseling with the church. They have some great people for us to reach out to, and we plan on reaching out to them. I've been talking to the pastor on a daily basis, and he has some really good, they go through grief counseling himself as the pastor, and he has a team like for teens and whatnot. And he feels that they are like the best, and I trust him. He's a great man, and he's got us through a lot here lately. And yeah, we feel that we just don't want to throw it on them, because right now they're like, no, we don't need that. But I don't see how they cannot not need that. You know, they're young, and they're heartbroken, and they're confused.
Yeah, this is their friend and sister.
Yeah.
And
so,
and you know,
unfortunately,
Maddie as well, right?
Yes.
I would assume that Kaylee's siblings were very close with Maddie as well. This is a tremendous amount of burden to try to process for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maddie was very kind and had been a sister to them for so long that it was just, we took for granted that she was there and that she would always be there. So yeah, it hits everybody a little bit different, and you have certain memories that you tie to certain individuals. So it's my girls miss them both, and my son is torn. You know, it's something we're gonna have to work together. We're not very good at this kind of stuff, but we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, we're not, and it's not something you want to be good at. But just
I'd like to,
as a family.
I'd like to introduce you to Joe Petito. I think it might be, helpful just in terms of the
advice from somebody who's been there for a second. Yeah, we're not.
Be pleased to do that. Shannon, we'll speak after the program, and I will connect all of you together. I do want to ask you, Steve, about some of the information in the affidavit. It seemed as though the police had their eyes on this suspect within 2 weeks of the crimes being committed, and yet for 4 more weeks, he was in Moscow, he was in Pullman, he was crossing the country. And I wanted to get your thoughts just on the notion that there were so many other people, classmates, neighbors, both in Washington and in Pennsylvania, who may have been at risk because they were so close to him before he was actually brought in cuffs. What were your thoughts about that?
I think we all kind of shared that as a community, that there was a risk of somebody being out there. And I took that very personal, because I had so much weight on top of me, and I knew all these other victims that were associated with my family were being hurt with just overall media and coverage. But these guys, there's no perfect way to do this. And these officers they just did an amazing job. And I was hard on them, and I'll come out and say that I owe them all the gratitude in the world, and I've always supported the police. But it's the school of thought that I come from. Like, everybody can do their best, and they need to come to the every day trying to be the best person that they can possibly be. So I won't back off of that, but these guys did an amazing job. They need more credit than they had. I mean, people think Idaho is so old fashioned and out back, but these guys, they hit a home run, man. That affidavit is impressive, and I'm glad to be wrong. I wanted to be wrong, and I told them to their face. I looked them in their eyes and said, prove me wrong, and all is forgiven. And here we are, and all is forgiven. And I'll say that on camera, and I'll tell everybody, I was concerned, but I was wrong. They were right. And I'm okay with that. I have my person now. We have our person of interest, our defendant, and we will go after him, and he better be ready.
I can't thank you enough for spending the time with us tonight, Steve and Christy, and Shannon as well, especially on a day like you've been through today. And I send you love and strength as you embark on this journey. And I look forward to covering this as well and seeing justice actually coming through for all of you and your families.
Thank you. You've been dedicated to this story. That's why we're here, because we appreciate hard work and effort, and you have been amazing. You have been so strong on this case, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
And I believe the same with Brian. I think Brian is one of your coworkers, and he's been great as well.
Well, we'll continue. We're not letting go. We're going to make sure that we're on it as well with you. Again, as I said, on this journey. And as I said, Shannon, I'm going to connect with you after the program and hopefully get you in touch with Joe Petito. It'll be, I think, helpful. Thank you both. Thank you, all three of you. I so appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
If anyone wants to know that the moment that, Banfield probably became too invested in this case, it was probably right there because she just had this family thank her for everything she did. That's probably why she goes so hard for this case, Turn my camera on there a little bit. Hello, here I am. This is going to be just like OJ. This is going to be the OJ of 2023 if it goes, accordingly. If there's no continuances or anything, but I don't think that there should be any. And I feel like I think I may have missed one interview, so I may have to just make another video and pop it in, or maybe we did see it, or maybe it's next. No, I feel like there was one that I might have missed, but I don't know if we did or not. I don't think we did. We did 13, so we've almost done 13. And I'm gonna look at Olivia's page too really quick. So this is okay, hold on. Let me go back up in the chat really quick. Somebody, I think it was Julie. Julie was asking about the younger siblings. Okay, so this is the whole family. I'm just gonna go down the tabs really quick. So these are the two youngest ones. I would say they're probably preteens and younger. I'm not exactly for sure on their ages. And then this is the other, Kaylee, and then Olivia and Steve Jr., which is the only boy. So poor Steve's got a lot of, he's got a lot of women. Yeah, I think that it would be a really tough age, especially for the littler ones. I mean, it's going to be really hard on the older ones as is, but the little ones, I couldn't imagine. I only have one older brother. We're 9 years apart. So, I mean, we're close, but when you have siblings this close in age, it's a whole new other level, because she doesn't like Brian. I think that too. She really doesn't like him. Did you see that night? She was like, and if you're watching, and then they clipped that part out of all of her, so Banfield one night did an episode or did a, interview or did a thing, where she was talking to Brian Cohlberger into the camera because it was when they first found out Brian could have TV and he was watching the news. And so she was like, if you're watching, and I was like, oh my gosh. I just thought it was pretty funny, but then they didn't put it in any of her stuff. So this is the whole family there. This is on their Facebook site. They do have a Facebook page, just for the girls. And then I'm going to show this. We were talking about earlier, Kaylee, I guess her LinkedIn page was deleted 12 hours after she died. So I guess Chronicle was with Olivia on her page, and she is, I tagged her page in underneath my references, underneath the description. So if you want to check out her page, it's there. But I guess it shows Kaylee's sister breaks clues to me. So we're going to watch this TikTok really quick.
46 days since the brutal murders and still no suspect. One of the victims' family members shares with me a new clue. Kaylee Gonalves' sister Olivia shares with me something she found disturbing on the day of the murders. Here's a screenshot of Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Notice how Kaylee's account was active at 11:33 p.m. on November 13th. This was 12 hours after the 911 call was made, and her account was deactivated.
The content is unwanted or harmful. But, obviously I didn't report it.
Olivia also shows me an email where she messaged Moscow PD and asked them why they deleted Kaylee's LinkedIn. They replied and said it was illegal for them to do that, and it was not them. So the big question is, who was logged into Kaylee's LinkedIn? And why was it deleted? Kaylee had other social media accounts. Why her LinkedIn? It just doesn't make sense. What do you think?
I don't know. The only thing I could think of is it did it update until then? I don't know. If you delete an app or Ableton app or something, which I don't know why you would do that, but I wonder how long it takes to actually like go off your phone. I'm actually wondering, you know how like, I mean, I don't know if you guys have an iPhone, but I don't know how many apps I've deleted on my iPhone just by like touching it. Like, you know, just holding, if you hold it still, you can just delete them so easily. I delete them all the time. So I'm wondering if it was deleted on accident and then it didn't like register to her phone that it was deleted until like maybe her, I don't know, her phone was powered back on. So maybe like, you know what I mean? I don't know though. But I'm not for sure on that. I'd have to ask Vincent. Maybe he would know about that. I don't know if he would or not. And if you guys don't know who Vincent is, I keep mentioning him, that's my boyfriend. He's like system IT engineer guy. So I ask him all of my IT questions. And sometimes he'll have an answer for me. And sometimes he won't. And he'll say, Tanya, I don't have an answer. After the 911 call. Yeah, that's what I don't know. Like, that's so weird. Unless 12 hours later, Ellie had her phone and they went into the app. Because then, I mean, like, if you're like the police department or something and you go into an app, maybe that was 12 hours later. They were all looking through their phones, like looking through the deceased phones. Could that be it? Like, I mean, maybe that's why they opened the app. I mean, I know that the police said, and I don't think the police would delete the app, but it said that she was active. So I don't know. I was laughing at your messages, Arlene. Vincent's always here. He is. Where's he at? Okay, so this will be the next one that I'll show you guys. And then we'll watch the like part of the Chronicles of Olivia episode. And then that's like all my videos for you guys. Well, I think the deep interest here is that 4 people were murdered brutally on a college campus. And I think that's why they have all the FBI agents on it. I don't feel like, and this is just my own personal, in my opinion, I don't think that this is drug related. I don't think that this is some government conspiracy, Ellie cover up. I don't think that this is anything other than what we kind of see it as it is. I think it's because Brian Cohlberger was caught like that and people are just like, really? Him? Because he's supposed to be this doctoral student in criminology and he left behind a knife sheath. People are questioning that. I know that. And I know that people are questioning that because they don't believe that somebody that's supposed to be that smart up here could do something so trivial. But that's what people do when they have no damn common sense. Like when you lack no common sense, you can have all kinds of streets or book smarts. But if you don't lack them, if you lack them street smarts, you're going to have a hell of a time in life. So I think that's where he got a little dumb. I think that's where he overthink a lot of things, I think. But that's just me. And I also think that, and I don't, in my opinion, I do believe it was Brian Cohlberger. And I believe he did it by himself. I think that if you have more than one person, that's just going to be too messy. Too messy trying to track down your partner, make sure he's killing people, make sure you're killing people, make sure he's not leaving DNA, make sure he's up to the same part of standards you are up to. Like, are you ready to do this? You know, one of those deals. Like, you can't go in there like one of you is sleepy and one of you ready to do things. Do you know what I mean? I think it was one person and they did this to their families. Shannon says, I don't think Kaylee's parents are talking about the roommates. Are you talking about like earlier? Who do you think they're talking about? Eddie said, yeah, still smoking. Wait a second. We lost one. Where's Scorpelina? She's done. Where's she at? She must have fell asleep. Oh, Turd Ferguson said, Cloud Engineer, what's the question? Okay, so can you be active? How would you be active on LinkedIn 12 hours after you were deceased? And that was all it was. That's all it said was she was active, right? It didn't say that she deleted the app. We're gonna watch it again. We're gonna watch this again.
36 days since the brutal murders and still no suspect. One of the victims' family members shares with me a new clue. Kaylee Gonalves' sister Olivia shares with me something she found disturbing on the day of the murders. Here's a screenshot of Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Notice how Kaylee's account was active at 11:33 p.m. on November 13th. This was 12 hours after the 911 call was made, and her account was deactivated.
The content is unwanted or harmful. But
Okay, so she was active and then deleted 12 hours. Thank you, Annie, after the 911 call. As soon as I said that, I looked down at the chat. So if you can answer that question, we would love that. Let me go back up here, see if I missed anything. Yeah, if you know anything about that, let us know. Unwanted or harmful content. Oh, I was like, what? I'm up there with the astronauts. That's so funny. I'm up there with the astronauts. That's funny. That made me laugh. I needed that. So yeah, no, I never look on people's short videos. So this is not new. I didn't want to know, and this isn't breaking news or anything. So I meant to tell people that in the beginning. This is videos been on Chronicles Olivia, on her channel for a while. I was unaware of it because I don't follow Chronicles Olivia, but, and I also don't look at people's short videos. I tend to, unless it pops up on my like For You page, I don't tend to go into other, I don't know. That's just a lot of going in and looking around. I don't know if that makes sense. But I did tag it, or I did paste it in the chat. So if you want to. LinkedIn was, I believe it was included. And I thought it was just on Kaylee's. Kylie's, look at me. Kaylee's on, I thought it was just on Kaylee's too. When your daughter gets off the computer, still shows active a half hour later. Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder what was on there. Yeah. Unwanted and harmful content. That's what, because I was wondering what that message said. Like, maybe I should look that up. Like, let me see. What can... Let's see. Suspended. Okay, so it just says account or content restricted or removed. It says an unusually large amount or large number of page views from the account. So that could be it right there. I mean, we found out that they died that day. People could have just flooded her LinkedIn maybe, but I don't know. It just says an unusually large number of page views from the account. The name used in the account profile is in violation of our user agreement. We've detected inappropriate or illegal activity on the account, a history of repetitive abusive behavior on the account. Don't think any of those are. Or if you or someone else tried to access your account repeatedly using the wrong password. So it could have been one of them officers trying to maybe they kept using the wrong password to get in, or somebody, I don't know. But that could be a reason it said for it. So yeah. I figured the LinkedIn would have been for her job. Like it would have been for her whole profile. Do you know what I mean? Like it would have been her whole person, like her professional portfolio in a way, because a lot of younger people, used, I think, LinkedIn. You can be active by not signing out. Oh, look at that. Let me see. Yeah, I definitely think it was for her. LinkedIn's for your job and stuff. Is that what you mean? Yeah, because that's what LinkedIn's for. It's for work and stuff. So I think that Yeah. But I don't think that he would have well, I don't know if he, okay, so maybe he says maybe KB contacted her that way. When he didn't get a response on Instagram, she was into true crime and he studied it. Yeah, I thought that might have been the Reddit because they asked for her Reddit. But I don't know. Oh yeah, LinkedIn can be used for really like, I guess anything. I mean, you can use it as just like a social platform. I just don't really know many people that use that for a social platform. And I don't know, actually I can tell you, because on Instagram, okay, actually I can give you another, okay, on Instagram, when someone messages you and you're not following them or they're not following, and they could be following you, but if you're not following them, it won't go into your direct messages. I have so many that I didn't even know that were in there. And Twitter is even worse. I didn't realize that you actually physically have to go into your messages on Twitter to see that you have like pending messages from other people that you're not like following. I didn't know that until today. And I've been on Twitter for a while. So that could have been maybe. I thought they asked for Kaylee's LinkedIn. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Well, the first message that came in was at 5:41 p.m. Yeah, it's like Facebook, but for professionals. There was no LinkedIn warrant. I'll have to look at that. Yeah, I thought there was one for someone in there. There was no warrant for Kaylee's LinkedIn. I could have sworn I saw one for a LinkedIn in there. Because I thought that there was just like one. But I'm not sure. But let me go ahead and play this for you guys. And I'm going to probably be getting off of here soon. So I'll play this one and then I'm going to play the next one for you guys. Oopsie, let me rewind it.
I want to bring in Kaylee's sister now, Olivia. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Olivia. You know, I remember from when we first started communicating, when all of this began, you told me that you believed that this was going to be a stranger who came into the house. And according to the police, you know, you were right the way that all of this played out. But what did you think when you first learned that Brian Cohlberger was the suspect?
I think we always presume, you know, innocence. I don't think it really hit me until the affidavit was released and I was able to kind of read that and process that. And then you not only have a name and a face, but, you know, the beginnings of a case against him.
You have been working so hard behind the scenes, and I don't think a lot of people realize that because in many ways your dad has sort of been the face of the family. But since the beginning, you've been digging into this and trying to find leads and sending things to the police. And you told me that, you know, you didn't feel like you would be able to really grieve until there was an arrest made. Do you feel like now you're able to do that?
I think my family as well as myself are starting to get there. And it's kind of an odd time to do that, being that we still have such a long road ahead of us. But the relief that we all felt having a suspect in custody was, it was like, I can't even describe it. Like the weight of the world was lifted from our shoulders.
The court process now, though, I mean, that's, you know, your dad has told me that can be overwhelming to think about, the fact that you guys are going to have to be in court. Do you plan to be at the hearings?
Yeah, every single one.
One thing back to the affidavit that I think a lot of people were surprised by was the fact that one of the roommates was awake when the killer walked by, and that the 911 call wasn't made until hours and hours later. Do you know any more about why that might be?
I don't have any other information for that. I do know Dylan is really young and she was probably really, really scared. And until we have any more information, I think everyone should stop passing judgments because you don't know what you would do in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's people online, obviously, it's totally inappropriate at this point. And you're right, no one knows how they would.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to like cut into this Brian Enton, but I was looking at the whole message, like, because it's easier if I can look on my phone, so I can pause the whole LinkedIn thing. When they're talking about the unwanted and harmful, please report it. They're talking like that part. They're talking about the message that was prior sent to her from a LinkedIn member saying, "You are so pretty." It's asking her if she wants to report the message or mark contents as safe. But I still don't know why it would be deleted 12 hours later. So I'm going to unpause this now, but that's what I was wanting to tell you guys.
Handle a situation like that, or what was really happening. I mean, we only know what's in the probable cause so far. Is there anything you've learned that connects Cohlberger to any of the victims here? Last I talked to your dad, he said the family was looking for connections, but there wasn't anything really apparent at this point.
Yeah, I think we're still going to keep looking. I've had a lot of people reach out with Instagram posts or even Spotify or lots of connections that they've been able to find. And those are super valuable. All of those go over to, the Moscow Police Department, as well as the Idaho State Police and the FBI, because nothing is insignificant at this point, and everything is being looked through.
There's this feeling that many have shared that perhaps Cohlberger was watching the interviews, was in the Facebook groups, was on Twitter. Do you get a sense that that might be the case, that he was almost watching all of this as it played out?
I do. A lot of that comes from the fact that he had visited the home so many times before, late at night, early hours. He's presented this pattern of behavior. He went back to the home the morning before police had been called, I think to see if his circus, so to say, had started to unfold. And I think that he would not have been able to refrain from engaging with the online communities, the theories, the conspiracies, and everything in between.
How did you first find out, Olivia, that there was an arrest?
My mom actually told me. I had been staying at her house. Me and my husband were upstairs, and she came up the stairs. It was probably around 11 o'clock at night, the day before the arrest had been made. At the time, we didn't know what state, and we didn't even have a name. We just knew that a suspect was in custody.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm still researching this, actually. So I think, I lied before. I didn't mean to lie, but, so whenever the message, the "You're so pretty" message, that was Kaylee's account, even though there's no picture right there. And it says it says like LinkedIn contact or something. When you go further into the video towards the end of the short, it does say your new conversation. Kaylee Gonalves sent you a message 3 days ago. You are so pretty. And it says reply and has a question mark. And then you can click, go to LinkedIn. And so that's when I think she clicks go to LinkedIn. And then that's where it says like, there's no Kaylee Gonalves account anymore. So I am just like really interested in this whole like account thing. But that's all I had to show you on that one. Okay, and so I wanted to show you guys this. And this is like the last one, but let me get it to where we need to be. Let's see. I have the time stamp somewhere. And then I'll come back on and we can do like another open panel or something tomorrow and just do like a discussion during the day since it got so late. I didn't even realize that it was 3 hours in. Then did I really not? I think it's right here. Or I need to start it. I don't want to go too far. So. Okay, and I did, this is Chronicle of Olivia's video, so that I'm showing you right now. This is the interview that she did with the Gonzalez family back on the 13th of January. This was their last interview that they did. I'm not playing the whole interview, but it's a beautiful interview. It really is. So if you guys want to check it out, I did link it in the description, and I'm actually going to throw it into the panel really quick, or into the chat. It is a good video. I think she did a good job on this. So, oh my Lordy, Isabel. I think I don't know what time I'll do it live. I think we'll do one in like the afternoon sometime, maybe. Switch it up. But I'll play this here for you. And I'll try to put it in the community post tomorrow too.
At lunch. Going back to the night of the 12th, November 12th, and I think you hit, and I didn't even think of that perspective, but they did everything right.
Yeah.
And we discussed that. The buddy system. Explain all the things that they did.
Yeah, they Ubered out together. They only went to known locations that they had been before.
Private driver.
They had a private driver. I apologize. There was a private driver that they had actually used before, so they knew him. They had a relationship with this individual.
We knew him as a family member, and he really helped us.
Yeah.
He turned us on to food truck stuff.
Yeah.
He's a great person.
Good people. And then only went to like known locations with known people, traveled only together on well-lit, known streets to get food before taking a private ride from the same individual who would pick them up home to go eat after a night of drinking, being 21, Ubering out, Ubering home with your friend.
They were totally
And
chaperoned.
then going to bed.
And they were doing everything the way that you tell your kid to go. You
Yeah.
know, you don't be two girls all by yourself. Have somebody there that can walk with you. Everything was perfect. Everything was good.
Yeah.
All the way up to where they went to bed and went to sleep.
Yeah.
And that I can't control. As a family, we can't control what happens when you go to sleep.
Yeah.
When you go to sleep, that's us as society. We have to determine, are we going to let these people be out here that can do whatever they did, sneak into a house, whatever it was? Are we going to allow that to be normal? Are we going to allow that to be okay?
Yeah.
Because we all go to bed at night.
Yeah, what was their flaw? They didn't have a nanny cam in their home? What could they have done to be more
They
safe?
didn't lock the door perfectly.
Yeah. You know, it's Moscow, Idaho, it's safe.
I wonder about the door because Kaylee was a door locker. She would come
totally
here,
was.
and so I question that all the time. Like, why wasn't the door locked? Why wasn't the door locked?
So I wonder which door they're talking about when they're talking about, I wonder why the door wasn't locked. Like, are they talking about the back slider door, or are they talking about this front door? Because, like, Olivia pans to the front door, and we all know the front door was wide open the next morning. That's what the neighbor, we don't all know that, but that's what the neighbor said, came out and said. So I wonder what exactly they were talking about there. Because I had noticed that earlier, and I was like, so what do you guys think? Maybe they were talking about the front, maybe they were talking about the back. But we do know that, the neighbor did come. The neighbor was walking, I think, his dog the next day or something, and they said, that the front door was open between, I think it was 9 and 9:30. And I wonder why they didn't just lock the door behind them. Maybe because they thought they were safe in a house full of people. Hell, I mean, not me. I lock myself everywhere. I got doorbell camera, and I live inside of a building. You gotta enter a door that's locked at the bottom before you can even enter my door. And I got cameras inside. I'm just probably a little paranoid, but can't be too paranoid, I guess. I mean, obviously these girls were doing everything right. I mean, even Xana and Ethan, they were doing everything right too. They were together. They were in a group. It's just crazy. There's nothing they could have really switched and changed to make this not happen to them. So I'm like, damn Easter eggs. Annie's got weapons everywhere. It's like an Easter egg hunt over her place.
But that's not what society's built on. You don't say, oh, well, you didn't lock the door, so you deserve to die in your sleep.
Right. Yeah.
You don't do that. We have to make a society where these people show red flags, we identify them, we address them, and then we remove them from hurting other people.
The phone call the Gonzalez family received on November 13th is one they'll never forget.
We were, it was Sunday around
We were watching football.
1-ish, and we were
like
watching
every
football.
family, or a lot of families on Sunday.
And
We were watching
our
football.
son was here. Everybody was home except for she was down at her home.
We
in LA.
gather on
And
Sunday.
my niece called me and she was freaking out. And she said, Christy, have you talked to Kaylee? And I said, yesterday, like last night. And she said, something bad happened. Something bad happened. And she was just bawling. And I said, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? And she said, I think Kaylee's dead. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she
All
said,
our stomachs just dropped.
she
We were
said
just like,
there was somebody just called me and they live down there. She said there was a party last night and somebody went in and shot the party up and Kaylee was shot. I was like, what? And I just threw my phone. I started screaming. I started telling everybody to call Olivia and to get all her roommates on the phone. And I started calling Maddie, and Maddie wouldn't answer, and I said, no, this can't be, because Maddie would have called me. If Kaylee was shot last night at a party, Maddie or Jack would have called me. Like, no, and I called Kaylee, and I went straight to voicemail. I was calling Maddie, I was calling Jack, it was ringing. I turned on the TV, and I saw it said 1122 King Road. Like, Kaylee's car was in the driveway, Maddie's car was in the driveway, but it was saying an unconscious person. And we're saying, okay, maybe this isn't, like, maybe something happened. So Steve starts calling the police. Steven, our son, started calling the hospital, and he started calling the PD and saying, my name is Gonzalez, and we heard that my daughter Kaylee Gonzalez was killed in an accident, and they said, oh, we can't give you any information, we'll call you back. Well, next thing you know, some more phones started ringing. Our daughters came running down, 16 and 17 years old, came and said, Mom, somebody just called me and said that Kaylee's dead. And we're like, what? Like, who was it? And she's like, I don't know, it's somebody that said that they're there and Kaylee's dead. And we were like, oh my God, like this can't be, and it's just very, very, very dramatic.
These protocols have to be updated.
Yeah.
These protocols of somebody showing up at your door 10 hours later is ridiculous.
Because we had hours of panic before sheriff
It was
department.
terrible.
It was about 4:30, and
So you guys, they never called you. You guys found this out from family members that were in the area, and you guys didn't get notified. You actually reached out to them, and you guys still didn't get notified for hours.
He wound up calling them twice.
And I get it. Their protocols are all about, like, maybe they'll commit suicide or something, but they have to be updated because social media moves so fast, so quick. That's why we are using social media. I'm not using the most common channels.
We called Karen, and we asked Karen if she had heard anything, and she goes, yes, I was told that I need to get down because there was an accident.
Was good. We
thought maybe Maddie was the unconscious person, and we had already been told by several people, like 100% Kaylee was dead. And we were like, and they're bawling, and they're like
Maddie
this.
was just unconscious.
And then we're like, but Karen got a call saying to come down there. We haven't got a call.
That was a good sign.
So we're like, oh.
And I kept giving them hope. I kept saying, if it happened last night, you guys would know by now. I kept giving them hope. I said, they just released an article that the roommates are being questioned right now. They probably took their phones, Mom. Like, I just kept giving them hope because I live in Los Angeles. I wasn't here. And that's all I could do. But like, it's just this feeling in your gut that like, I just sat with.
I knew as soon as my niece, as soon as Sabrina called, I knew that it was real.
Yeah.
And she was freaking out.
And then cops showed up around
4:30. Yeah, the sheriff came around 4:30, and then he told us that there were 4 victims, and we said, is one of them Maddie Mogan? And he told us yes. And we realized that it was Kaylee and Maddie.
We still knew she was going down there. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, Karen was still on her way. And she
still driving.
And then she got down there, and she got there about 20 minutes after we got the news. And
Another person who is broken by the news of Kaylee's passing is her ex-boyfriend, Jack Decor. Not only has his life been picked apart, he's been scrutinized by social media.
In your heart, he had nothing to do with this.
more than, I mean, even just logically. I think that a lot of people assume we're blinded by this individual, but contrary to that, we're very capable of removing our emotions for Jack, which is absolute love, and just looking at the situation logically, looking at this individual in front of us, looking at a pattern of behaviors of him that we've seen throughout 5-6 years. So emotionally, and in our hearts and in our heads and in every sense of the word, it's
Physics.
not
We did a job
thorough.
vetting him.
I asked him to, yes, like, did he have any scratches? Did he have any bruises? He came here immediately after it happened.
We can
He's
prove that
broken.
he had none.
No, I checked his shoes.
Yeah.
I checked his car. I checked his hands.
I took
I checked
photos.
his neck.
Yeah.
He came over in shorts
Yeah.
within hours.
And he was happy for Kaylee.
Yeah.
Whether they were, I think they were close to getting back together. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were.
The whole-
Whether she was moving without him or not, he had
Everything was about
nothing
getting
but
together.
love.
We went and investigated Adam. What did you tell Adam? We went through that whole thing. Adam is about her trying to get back with Jack.
Day
Because they're
one.
roommates.
Day one of this all happening, Jack was right there in the trenches with me, reaching out to people Kaylee had called. Who
He
is
spent
this?
the
Who
first
is this?
3 nights here on our couch after he
No.
came. He could not leave us.
That's why the FBI agent said, Steve, slow down. We realize you guys are ahead of us. We realize that you guys have this chain of thought and you're going where we're going. We're an organization and we have to check it a little bit slower than you. And you're just ripping through it and you're ready to tell everyone. He's like, slow down.
And I know it sounds weird that we asked him to show us his arms and stuff if we trusted him so much, but I mean, I think that
People,
I
I think people would look at you negatively if that wasn't the reaction.
and I said, and I looked him in his eyes and he was crying and I was crying. I said, I'm so sorry.
We hate
that I
doing
have
this
to
too,
ask
but we have
But
to
can
do
you
it.
broke his
Please.
heart?
Yeah.
And he was just like,
Nobody's
yes,
sticking up for me.
lifted up
And
his
we
shirt.
were sticking up for him.
And I said, okay.
We're
I said,
not
I'm so
blindly
sorry.
stupid parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry when your child
Yeah.
meets her demise.
And it did not make me feel good
yeah.
either. But I mean, I was just like,
But when people are like, how do you stick up for him blindly? We're not blind.
No.
We have
And we know that
done
kid's
our
heart.
due diligence. We
you know,
have
his
looked at this stuff.
family.
He's been around my babies when my babies were born. He would watch them for me so that I could go to the grocery store by myself.
Right.
He had nothing but love for Keely and Patty.
The thing that got me is, I love that woman. I've been married 27 years, but I've lost my cool. I've said things I shouldn't say. My daughter broke up with him, and within a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, she had an interaction with a date. And she said, call me a bitch. And she was like, I've been with one boy my whole life.
And I said, he's never called you. And she's like, never. Mom. And I said, really? And she goes, never. And he said, bitch, you could go make me a quesadilla. And she said, what did you say? And she said, I'm leaving. And she goes, and I left. And I went home like, oh, Jack.
She's like, I might not ever find another Jack.
And I'm like, you might not. And I said, honestly.
We would always tell her that, yeah.
Because she's like, she knows I'm a flawed guy, but we're still married 27 years, have 5 kids, we have a happy life. She's like, your dad's definitely called me some names.
I think it happens in any relationship.
But I think
you know?
yeah.
But it's
he
always
goes
the
from
people that drive you up the wall are the ones you love the most.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, she said, and I was just like, she's like, never.
Yeah.
Never. And I was
We're
just
supposed
like,
to believe he just takes out 4 on his way to. It just seems like a
Over
huge
what custody of the dog? Like, there's just
It wasn't all
Kaylee
that.
was leaving.
He was looking for every excuse for him to pick the phone up.
Yes.
To read those texts. Like, I
She
will
wanted
leave
him to
tonight
know.
with the dog if you don't pick up. That type of thing.
Oh, so yeah. And they even when they broke up, they still communicated.
Yes,
it
every
sounds
day,
like
all the
it's
time.
like you
The
know.
whole time she
In
was
that
home.
bar
It
scene,
was just a.
they were around him. Not,
Yeah.
Not,
They
not
were-
Miss Jackson over here in the corner. No, she was around her ex, you know.
So I don't know if everyone has seen this before, but so that kind of shows you that that was Jack at the bar that night, because I know a lot of people were speculating if it was him or if it wasn't him. But I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, "Whoa, I didn't know that." So I wanted to pause that for you there. And I'm just going to play this for a few more minutes, and then it's almost over.
You know, and to me, that's comfort level. That's body language. This is the person that I'm comfortable in.
Talked to him about the conversation that night. We've talked to the other guy about the conversation that went on that night, and they both, they were just like, hey, what's been up? What have you been doing? You know, what's been going on? And she was trying to talk him into going to another bar down the street or something like that. And he's like, I worked all day. I'm tired. I'm going home. And he left and went home. And we think things could have been different.
We questioned the time in that video. We're not sure if it's accurate. So people might look at that and take it to, based off of the records that we have, there could definitely be some questions on the timing of that.
Right.
For sure, but I will just say, I can't verify the timestamp there, but I know for a fact that after they left the corner club, they walked to the grub truck. It's about an 8-minute walk, so we need to factor that in. And then they ordered food. They were at the grub truck for about 10 minutes, and they didn't leave the grub truck until the Uber driver had arrived at 1:49.
And those
So
cameras
if you
would
work
suggest-
backwards, that timestamp doesn't match up.
I would suggest.
I don't know. I'm not going to say it's completely false or anything, or how false it is. I don't know. But I'm saying from the timeline that I know for a fact, working it backwards doesn't match that timestamp.
Gotcha.
And it had just been daylight savings, so maybe they hadn't updated their cameras or something.
We are not going to go to bed and wait for other people to resolve a family problem. This is a family problem. And
This isn't just
both
a
those
family
girls are our girls, and we are not, I'm not handing over. I thought about it. I thought, like, here, just take care of my family, make sure that you find the right guy. And I eventually got to a point where I said, you know what? My family, we're all G's, we call ourselves G's because nobody can pronounce our name. We are not going to sit here and let somebody else do a job that we can't add value to.
And you guys have added value. I mean, you, Olivia, found the Twitch video that actually solidified the timeline.
We watched the ring video that showed them pulling up, and we're like, that's them. It's 1:56. That's what time they got home. And there's the car leaving, and
So we're working.
And I have my phone. Kaylee's phone is my phone, so we saw all the calls that she had made, and we with an exact time. And
I reached out to every person she called. I had them send screenshots of the communications that had happened on that day, of texts with my sister, of the call with my sister. How long was your phone conversation with her? Just to do whatever I could in those first few hours, because unfortunately by the time we even found out, they've been gone for more than 12 hours.
What America needs to know is you can be a victim all the way up to the point where you just hand it all off, or you can say, you know what? We have a moment in time to make an impact, do our due diligence, listen to what people are saying, write down deep notes, and you can be a part of solving it and work on it. Anyone who thinks that one officer or one department can do this alone, 4 people, they're crazy.
Yeah.
This takes the whole community. This takes all of us to solve. We can't put this on one man, one officer, one police person, one deputy, one sheriff. We have to all come together and say, you know what, this is on us. Are we gonna let these people exist and go undetected? Or are we all gonna come together and say, this is enough? We're gonna stomp this guy out of our community. And I'm telling you right now, we're coming for you. You're going to get stomped out.
Yeah, I feel like America is behind us on this one. I mean, it started.
Okay, that's like pretty much the end of the video. They just kind of talk about, it just goes on for like a few minutes after that. But I didn't want to play her whole video. But I did put it in the chat. If you guys, I could put it in the chat again. I think it's still, I think that's it. Let me just double check so I can copy and paste the right one in there for you guys. But that one was that's Chronicles of Olivia. It's another creator. And I believe she actually came out with a new video. That's what I was telling you guys earlier. I think that she actually did, because a lot of people were saying that she wasn't, because she didn't put out a video for a long time. Let me just double check. Oops. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like 4 days ago. So I don't know what it's about. Grant Solomon. So maybe a new case. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, when everyone thought he was at the memorial, yeah. They were trying to pick him out. Oh, my gosh, they were trying to pick him out everywhere. Nothing new on today. No, not on today. It's Saturday, so they didn't, they're not going to release, any documents or anything like that over the weekend. And I think we've covered everything on the channel up until now. I have a huge playlist if anyone has any questions, concerns, comments, wants to watch some more Idaho for, stuff. We have plenty of stuff on there. Turn on my camera here for a minute. Let me see here. I think that was all I really had to show you guys. We'll put them back on the screen. Let me see here. Oh yeah, the Tinder date. Yeah. Oh my Lord. He said that she had good birthing hips, I believe. That's something that you want to be told on a date. But I can't knock Tinder though, because that's how I met my boyfriend, and we've been together 7 years. So I can't say anything bad about Tinder. But he was like my one and only date. It was a great pickup line, Willie. I think it was anyway. Smooth talker, yeah. Got great birthing hips. Well, thanks, buddy. I mean, I don't know. I think I've probably had worse. I've probably had someone tell me like something worse than that, but you know what I mean? But that's just something that's so far out there. I don't think that I probably wouldn't go on a second date with the guy that said that to me. Oh man, I'm starting to get a little bit headache. And Dawn, oh my God, y'all. What if BK was a Tinder date? So someone else actually said that about, I forget who it was, but someone else actually mentioned that they thought that what if he was her Tinder date? I don't know. I mean, I can't say it's out of the realm of possibilities because, I mean, two people can meet, on Tinder, but she would have to swipe right and he would have to swipe right, which, I mean, we all know he would. But would she? Now let's get a picture of Brian Cohlberger up here. Now you guys tell me if you were, not the PCA, I just want him. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's get in a good image of him. Let's see. He don't have a good image. But trying to get him where he's like smiling or something, but Yep, that's not going to work. Can't find him really smiling. We're just going to let's see. I can't find a good one, so this is going to be probably the funniest one, though. So this is like the first one. If you saw this guy pop up on your Tinder account and you were a 21-year-old girl, beautiful girl, I mean, don't even matter. Just put yourself back in your age at 21. You at 21. And you're swiping, you're looking, you're swiping. I don't know. I would not, no. Yeah, I don't think he was one of their Tinder dates either, but, I think that, I don't know. Very, yeah, I did hear it somewhere. I just can't remember where I heard. I thought I heard it somewhere. I thought I heard that somewhere else too, though. I can't remember. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the video, hit that like on this video. I'm starting not to be able to talk after 3 hours, 3 hours, 20 minutes. Maybe, I don't know, Dawn. I don't know. I mean, she could have, but I don't see it. Actually, you know what? Why would he be making her a quesadilla? Quesadilla or quesadilla, whatever you call them. I'm thinking of Napoleon Dynamite, the movie. Quesadillas have like cheese and chicken normally in them, right? And he doesn't eat, he's vegan. So why would he tell, bitch, go make me a damn quesadilla? That's not going to work. So I just thought of that. Because that has like stuff in it that he wouldn't eat unless it's a vegan quesadilla. Hey, bitch, go make me a vegan quesadilla. Doesn't have the same effect. So yeah, I don't think that he would have been, I don't think that was the date. I don't think that was the Tinder date. But I just thought of that because like, yeah, I mean, it would have cheese, quesadillas. Don't they have like chicken or something in them? You can get like, I guess you can make them all kinds, but you know, he does not speak like that. Well, I'm over here talking Southern as hell too. You had to put, if you're going to say it like that, you have to do it like the Napoleon Dynamite, like the movie. Make yourself a dang quesadilla. I used to have like 3 or 4 of those t-shirts from that movie. I was that person that wore movie t-shirts, I guess. Just that movie. I don't know why, but I did. I was like young. A frat Chad talks like that. And he wants. That's how I think that most of the guys talking from maybe. That's what I was, Mountain Mama, that's what I was thinking about. Like, I mean, I know Jack isn't a big looker, but I think that Jack probably had a lot more going for him. I mean, maybe not the looks. I don't know Jack's family or anything, but maybe he has like, you know, maybe he comes from a prominent family and he, you know, he had a, maybe, a, you know, he's going to college. I mean, so is Cohlberger, but maybe he just was going in a different direction. He had a different vibe around him, you know? Vibes are a lot. Like, because even if you're not like the most attractive person in the world, if you have like confidence, then it makes you way more. Oh no, Dawn, that's a good point. You're wrong. No, I mean, it's a good point. I just was like, wait, but because I thought I had an epiphany. I normally don't get one over, you know. But I don't know. I think that, but then at the same time, people say that he didn't have a lot of friends, but then all these people kind of are coming out. No, I know it's not like a lot of people. I mean, it's only probably like a handful, so we can't really say it's a lot, but it's still people. Well, we would talk about that if there was any. We would talk about substance abuse if there was any proof of that, but we have zero proof. Yeah, he does look smug. That would not be me. I mean, I would be a crying mess. I would be a mess. That's just me though. I would be like, don't take me. He hung out with his neighbor a couple of times. Yeah, like, I mean, he hung out with people. I just think that like, he would have rather been alone, there's nothing even wrong with that. Like if people were like, gonna base that on like everybody, just people that are like, that stay up late and, that are introverted, then I'd be in prison with them because look at me right now. I'm 3.5 hours deep into a live, which we haven't never done a live 3.5 hours long. Not since Murdoch and, the trial, thank God that's over. But yeah, I just feel like, thank God the Murdoch trial's over. Oh, he was with an Asian female. Oh wait, that was another Asian female that came out. Remember after the first girl, the lovesick girl, whatever her name was, Ashley Hislop, was that her name? Hislop? That's her last name. After she came out, there was an Asian girl that came out that said that she was like in love with Brian Cohlberger too. But I don't think that's the same one though. Oh no, okay, but they still, yeah, but I think they could still, the quesadilla still will come with cheese. I don't think he does cheese because he's vegan. How can, I don't even like cheese, and I don't even know how he could do that. And I'm not even a cheese person. But that's all I have for you guys for tonight. And Pam, you asked me what time I'm going to come on tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to try to sleep in tomorrow, but you know me, I don't ever sleep in. Yeah, right. I did eat some food though while we were watching the last video, and I've never ever done that on a live. So I literally was like, I have to eat something because I'm starting to get a little bit of a headache. So I'm going to jump off of here, but I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon sometime. Enjoy your day. If I don't see you tomorrow, there are tons of things to watch on my channel if you want to enjoy some true crime, binge watch. Also, I did do, let me see here. I did a video earlier today. I would love for you guys to check that out. It is Missing Person, K. Alana Turner down in Texas. So if you would like to check that video out, that would be great. Make sure you like the video. That way it'll get kicked out into the algorithm. That way more people can see it too. So I will see you guys all in the next live. I love you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.